Thursday, September 25th. Today, absenteeism on the rise. The call to get students back to class and what government officials say is already being done. Upgraded charges. The new details emerging about a brutal attack in Brandon. A new option for your final arrangements. The burial now being offered at a city cemetery. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have Catherine Dow joining us, as well as Daniel Homerson, who is live at a beautiful show home today. It's the HSC Millionaire Lottery. We're going to tell you a little bit more about where your money goes when you buy a ticket. You support patient care. We're going to tell you a little bit more on what sort of prizes you'd be looking at and what it'll mean to patients in this province as well.
We can dream that we're going to be moving in there,
Absolutely.
right?
Wouldn't it be nice to be a millionaire?
It would be nice.
I feel like we won the lottery with the weather this week, Catherine.
We sure did. And you know what? While we're in store for a little bit of a cool off today, wow, do we have stellar conditions on our way for the weekend. It does not feel like fall. I don't know about you. I wasn't ready to say goodbye. So for those who say that Manitoba Falls last 2 weeks, I don't know. I think we're in for a good stretch right now. So yes, we'll be talking about that in a moment, I suppose. Taking a check-in outside, 15 degrees. We still have a decent amount of clear skies. That fog we were dealing with yesterday has more than dissipated, though we could be getting it back tonight. Details on that in a moment. Winds out of the northwest, barometric pressure is falling, and the humidity, it is sitting at 81%. So yes, as you can see, not a lot to show you on our radar because we're dealing with a clear start to the morning and likely a clear week ahead. When I was programming the graphics, I was kind of shocked because I have not much to show you, except for this little spoiler, we'll call it, this little system here, bringing a slight chance to areas like Churchill and Island Lake of some rainfall. But as you can see, it kind of swirls out of the area a little later on into the afternoon. The rest of us, though, lots of sunshine, some decently strong winds, particularly in the morning for us here in the south. Those southerly gusts could get as strong as 30 to 50 kilometers per hour, tapering off considerably into the afternoon. Into the afternoon as well, very clear, lots of sunshine to enjoy. A little bit of cloud coverage coming overnight in the north. We do have a chance of some fog patches here in southern Manitoba. Those should dissipate into tomorrow. Here, though, this nasty looking system, slight chance of some rainfall overnight in the northwest and into Saturday afternoon coming to the northeast, while we stay sitting pretty here in the south. Lots of sunshine to enjoy. In terms of our temperatures, 15 is what's typical for this time of year. So while we are getting up to 18 degrees, it's not as warm as we were seeing yesterday. That's because we have an upper ridge of pressure. With it comes a little bit of cooler air mass that's spreading throughout southern Manitoba. But cool is a relative term because we are, yes, as mentioned, still above seasonal. Lots of sunshine. Overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down to 6. I mentioned those strong southerly gusting winds. They will shift overnight out of the north, still remaining strong at about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. The fog should dissipate into tomorrow. And then that's when we're back above the 20-degree mark for the rest of the foreseeable future. 22 degrees on Friday under the sunshine. Same deal on Saturday with lots of sunshine to enjoy, although overnight you see that low is cut in half at 9 degrees. Sunday, that mercury climbs even higher, a high of 25. We kick off next work week under the same kind of theme, 24 degrees, and look at the mercury soaring into Tuesday, high of 27.
Thank you, Catherine. A new documentary is drawing attention to the problem of students not going to school. A trailer for the feature says the absentee rate at one school was as high as 71%. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the organization that produced the documentary says the issue is getting pushed to the side.
Reg Clausen says it was hard to hear about students who weren't showing up for class, some for months at a time.
Hadn't registered, and it was the middle of November. It was painful. It was painful for all of us in the school division.
The former school superintendent says absenteeism is a problem and it's become worse since the pandemic. So he said yes when asked to participate in a documentary on the subject.
What matters is that we're getting a message out, and we need to do something significant.
The documentary Absent was produced by faith-based organization Inner City Youth Alive. Executive Director Kent Duick says some schools in Winnipeg's North End are experiencing high rates of absenteeism.
It can be things that are happening in the home. It can be challenges related to addiction, it can be mental health.
He's calling on school divisions and the province to do more outreach to get students back in class and put more programs in place to keep them in class once they do come back.
The issue is always getting pushed out of the way, and it's sort of an open secret. You know, teachers know that it's bad.
6% of our students, really struggle with attendance.
Winnipeg School Division Superintendent Matt Henderson says staff members do make house calls in cases where students are missing school for long periods of time, and schools are trying to reduce barriers while adding programs.
You know, what we've done is really extended the day for as many students as we can. We're feeding as many students as we can, breakfast, lunch, snack. We see the power of programs like football.
Manitoba's education minister says they are working hard to address this and says the school nutrition program they introduced is paying off.
What we're seeing is that kids are showing up to school, they're showing up on time, and they're showing up ready and excited to learn.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
New details are emerging about a brutal sword attack at a Brandon high school. Charges against the teenager accused in the attack this past June have been upgraded. And if found guilty, the Crown wants the teen sentenced as an adult. The 16-year-old male was previously facing 1 count of attempted murder and 2 counts of assault with a weapon. However, the Crown has confirmed those assault charges have now been upgraded, leaving the accused facing 3 counts of attempted murder. This all comes after Brandon police arrested the teen on June 10th, accusing him of brutally attacking another 15-year-old student with a sword, leaving them with serious injuries. Police have since alleged the attack was racially motivated. The maximum youth sentence for attempted murder is up to 3 years in custody, while the maximum adult sentence is life in prison. The lawyer for the accused tells CTV News they are opposed to the adult sentencing. CTV News has also learned there were additional victims in this attack. Brandon Police Chief Tyler Bates tells CTV News following the initial attack on the 15-year-old boy, a suspect armed with a sword allegedly chased a staff member and another student at the school. Both were able to escape unharmed without physical injuries. And just to note, the names of any victims, witnesses, and accused under 18 are all protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. None of the charges or allegations have been tested in court. Rescue crews are doubling their search area for a young boy who went missing in southwestern Alberta.
We very much still believe him to be alive and are not letting up the search efforts as a result of that.
More than 100 search and rescue workers spent a 4th day combing through dense brush and steep terrain to find Darius McDougall. The 5-year-old was hiking with his siblings in the Crow's Nest Pass on Sunday when he became separated. Darius has autism, and police say that may prevent him from responding to others. We're continuing to follow the latest developments from Dallas, Texas, after a deadly shooting at a temporary holding center by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE. We now know that a detainee is dead and 2 others were critically wounded. The suspect has been identified as 29-year-old Joshua Jan. The head of ICE says Jan died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities also say the shooter opened fire from a nearby roof with a rifle, shooting indiscriminately at the ICE building, including at a van where the victims were shot. Activists in a flotilla of small boats trying to break the Israeli blockade and deliver aid to Gaza say their vessels were attacked by drones overnight. They were sailing in international waters south of Greece when they say they were struck by unidentified drones and their communications were jammed. The group reported at least 13 explosions. No one was hurt, but several boats were damaged. Israel has said it won't allow the vessels to reach Gaza and has not commented on the alleged attack. A tracking device has been attached to an entangled humpback whale off the coast of British Columbia. A whale-watching vessel spotted the huge mammal on Sunday. It was caught up in discarded fishing gear in the Strait of Georgia. Fisheries and Oceans Canada was notified and arrived on scene, where a satellite tag was attached to the trailing debris. Now that the mammal can be tracked, a rescue operation will be mounted once weather and location allow. Manitoba continues to lose people to interprovincial migration, but the rate has slowed compared to recent years. New data from Statistics Canada shows our province has a net loss of around 4,000 people last year. That's the lowest level since the pandemic. That said, the population overall continues to climb, reaching 1,509,000 as of July. Manitoba hasn't had a net gain in population from interprovincial migration since 1982. A lopsided match in Winnipeg High School football action Wednesday evening. The Dakota Lancers were in action, taking on the Vincent Massey Trojans, and Dakota was all over the Trojans, scoring repeatedly. They won this contest 34-0. In other action Wednesday, Oak Park defeated St. Paul's 43-6. And here's a look now what's going on in traffic at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are picking up over here, but overall moving quite well. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, please text them to us at 10400. All right, let's now go to Daniel Homerson, who's live at a gorgeous show home. It's all in support of patients of HSC. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Winnipeg. I'm out here in Oak Bluff at, the stunning home that could be yours in the 2025 HSC Millionaire Lottery. And tonight is the fall bonus deadline, midnight tonight, that is. Over $48,000 in prizes. Choose a car, travel, or cold hard cash. Throughout the morning, we're going to learn more about the prizes available during this year's lottery. But more importantly, we're going to learn where those proceeds go, supporting patient care, advancing medical research right here in Manitoba at Manitoba's Hospital Health Sciences Centre. Coming up in about half an hour, we're going to talk to bomber great Milt Stegall about his work as a spokesperson for HSC. And later on, we'll learn a little bit more about some of the patients that HSC has helped over the years. So stay tuned. I'm going to get settled in here with cameraman Kenny, and it's going to be a great morning here in support of the HSC Millionaire Lottery.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. I love the kitchen so far. Can't wait to see more of the house. Thank you, Daniel. Let's go to the rooftop now where Catherine Dow is. And how's it feeling out there?
You know, it's pretty lovely, Rochelle. It is a touch blustery and even a touch warmer, or excuse me, colder. How can you tell I'm not used to these changes yet? It is a touch colder overnight than we have been seeing the last couple of weeks. There we go, got it out. So the reason for that is we have an upper ridge of pressure developing. That is ushering in some slightly cooler temperatures, and behind it, a low pressure system bringing some northerly winds developing and getting quite gusty this morning in southern Manitoba. Currently, it's 15 degrees. I mentioned those northwesterly winds. They're at 22, gusting to 32 kilometers per hour this hour. Pressure's falling. Humidity sits at 78%. So we will see plenty more sunshine today. That cold front is cutting down our high temperatures that we've been dealing with the last couple of days. We're still above seasonal. 18 is what we're looking at in Winnipeg, and much of the province will be dealing with highs into the upper teens. But for us here in Winnipeg, that's just a touch warmer than we're used to. In the last couple of days, we've been getting into the upperwards of the 20-degree mark. That's coming back. Meanwhile, we do have a very warm pocket of the province, southwestern Manitoba. You too will stick with some warm temperatures into the low 20s. Overnight tonight, maybe some fog patches. Skies stay relatively clear. Otherwise, wind shift staying strong out of the north. And then tomorrow, we're back into the 20-degree mark with plenty of sunshine to enjoy.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
A warning for those of you living in the province's north. RCMP are warning about an uptick in grandparent scams in the area. Typically, Mounties say the person receives a call from someone claiming to be either a relative or a lawyer, asking for large sums of money for bail. The person is instructed to send the money via mail to an address outside the province. RCMP say at least 4 elderly people in Flin Flon have been targeted in this way recently, 2 of whom lost thousands of dollars. Police say if you receive a call like this, you could hang up and call your family member or local police directly to find out if it's legitimate. The City of Winnipeg says higher levels of bacteria and viruses will soon start flowing into the Red River. It's only temporary, as workers need to shut off the UV treatment at the North End wastewater treatment plant while upgrades are underway. It means the water may be more harmful for humans and pets, but not fish. Anyone living within 3 kilometers downstream will be contacted directly. The UV treatment will be turned off next Wednesday and is expected to resume in March. The city notes this will not affect anyone's drinking water. A major banking breach at Canada's largest bank. A former RBC employee is now facing criminal charges for allegedly accessing the Prime Minister's personal information. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on what we know about the man and the charges.
Your bank records. What did the RBC say about your bank records?
The Prime Minister smiling but not sharing how or why a 23-year-old working for RBC allegedly accessed his personal data. It all started in July with a tip-off complaint from RBC to the Mounties. RCMP charged Ibrahim El Hakim with fraud over $5,000, unauthorized use of computer, identity theft, and trafficking in identity information. RCMP won't say if they believe he's linked to organized crime.
This is the Prime Minister's financial information. And what I gather from this is that this is clearly information that could be potentially leveraged by what we call a threat actor.
The case is being handled by the RCMP's Integrated National Security Enforcement Team, but they note there is no threat to the Prime Minister's safety or national security. For its part, RBC says it independently identified unauthorized system access, took immediate action to engage authorities, and El Hakim is no longer employed at the bank. The bank didn't answer CTV News questions about whether high-profile client accounts are given more protection than average Canadians.
It applies to all Canadians, so it just reminds everyone that, privacy and having system to prevent, fraudulent access to anyone's file is something that we should all be concerned about.
I'm not aware of those details, actually. Yeah, but that would worry me. Yeah.
The suspect has another court appearance here in Ottawa next week. The RCMP say more charges may still be coming.
Nearly 2 million people have been evacuated from their homes in China as Typhoon Regasa slammed into the southern coast of the country and battered Hong Kong. This video shows water smashing through the glass doors and flooding the lobby of a Hong Kong hotel. The storm caused severe flooding, knocked out power, and lashed heavily populated areas with destructive winds. Regasa is the strongest storm the world has seen so far this year, but has been downgraded from a super to a severe typhoon after tearing through the Philippines and Taiwan. And in Taiwan, at least 17 people are dead and more are missing after heavy storm rains caused a lake to overflow. Supporters of a BC ostrich farm celebrated the Supreme Court of Canada's temporary decision to pause the cull of 400 ostriches.
They're safe today!
The latest twist in an emotionally charged and long legal battle over the fate of the flock after an outbreak of avian flu. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says it will comply, but still maintain its ongoing presence at the farm during court proceedings. The state follows what the RCMP is calling a suspicious fire early Wednesday morning involving hay bale enclosures built by the CFIA Tuesday in preparation for the call. Walkers, cyclers, and joggers in North Winnipeg now have a new path to explore.
3, 2, 1.
Ribbons were cut to open the Keewatin multi-use path Wednesday morning. It runs 4.5 kilometers from Inkster Gardens to Brooklands. It's accessible for people of all ages and abilities. Bike Winnipeg's executive director says connecting communities gets more people choosing active transportation and leaving their cars at home.
You don't have to go far to look in the Northeast Pioneers Greenway, to look at the Blue Line Rapid Transit with the AT, just to see the amount of activity that gets generated through there, the number of people that are choosing to use that. Certainly it does when they build it, when we connect it, people use it and enjoy it.
There's also new lighting and controlled pedestrian crossings at busy streets. And we have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The curb lanes on Ellis are closed at Century Street. Eastbound Dugald Road is closed from Plessis to Ravenhurst. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts. The Bath Fitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Taking a look at our current conditions, we're starting off on a decently warm note. It's a gorgeous time to get outside and enjoy some breezier conditions. 15 in Winnipeg, 14 in Portage la Prairie and Gimli. A little bit cooler in Dauphin and Brandon, which is funny because you're actually getting some of the warmest highs today, 10 and 12 degrees respectively. To the north, your highs will be similar to what we are going to be seeing here in southern Manitoba, while your temperatures are a little bit sluggish overnight. 7 degrees in the Paw, 8 in Flin Flon. Let's move out of the way. So folks in Island Lake can see a high or an overnight low of 11, 10 in Gillam. Looking at our radar, not a lot to show you here because it's decently clear. We aren't dealing with that dense, thick fog that we saw yesterday that made it look kind of like an eerie horror movie yesterday. We could be getting some more returning tonight. In terms of when the kids are heading on the bus and heading out the door, about 14 degrees is what you're looking at under sunny skies. Those conditions not changing a ton, 16 at lunch hour, 18 as they head home. Coincidentally, that is also our high for today. 18 is what we're looking at. Strong northwesterly winds, particularly in the morning at 40, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour, tapering off into the afternoon. Overnight temperatures dipping down to 6. That's when we get the fog patches potentially coming back. The rest of the weekend looking picture perfect. Above seasonal highs of 22 on Friday and Saturday under the sunshine, getting even hotter to close us out on Sunday with a high of 25 degrees. Speaking of that fog, look at that. Those wind turbines barely visible through the dense smog there, if you will. It's not smog. This one taken by Eves and Letelier. Thanks for submitting, and keep those weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is 1000. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word 1000 with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. The federal hybrid work policy is throwing a wrench in the government's plan to get rid of some of its real estate. While it wants to offload half its office buildings, that may not be possible. CTV's Katie Griffin explains.
The federal government's plan to sell off or lease half of its office space disrupted.
Not unsurprising to me, given what I know about the broader federal government. I'm lucky enough that my organization has done a really good job with in-office space. We haven't needed to sort of sit on the floors or fight for space.
The government had planned to offload 50% of its office portfolio by 2034, generating a savings of $3.9 billion over the next 10 years. It's now projecting it will get rid of about 33%.
It's a work in progress, but at this stage, we're still focused on the objective we've set ourselves to save significant sums of money by reducing office space.
Public Services and Procurement Canada says changes in hybrid work, the requirements for employees to be in the office at least 3 days a week, along with growth in the public service, means they need more office space.
We have been worried for months, if not years, that there hasn't been a clear accommodation strategy and that the math equation of the growth in the public service and the amount of office space and usable office space that the feds have don't align.
The Ottawa Board of Trade wants to see a workforce strategy that creates certainty for businesses while allowing unused office space to be utilized.
That will unlock the assets that need to go out to market that can hopefully be turned into affordable housing and placemaking, like cultural institutions, so that we can get more people downtown and make a vibrant downtown, which is really a downtown that's operating 24/7 and doesn't shut down at 5 p.m.
In a statement, the president of the Public Service Alliance of Canada says the irony would be comical if it weren't tragic. We've made it clear for years that remote work would save the government billions of dollars. Instead, they're firing thousands of workers and putting Canada's public services at risk. Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Casting our eye to the sky, 15 degrees under clear conditions. Winds are strong out of the north-northwest at 22, gusting to 32. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 78%. Welcome back to Your Morning Winnipeg. Not a lot to report on with this radar because skies are relatively clear, not like yesterday. That dense fog felt kind of apocalyptic to me, but good news is we're dealing with clear conditions. A lovely morning to kick us off. Leading into a lovely day, if you will. 18 degrees is our high. Not quite as warm as we've been getting. Still, though, above seasonal. 15 is what's typical. Winds will be ramping up even more out of the south at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Sky staying relatively clear. Overnight, winds are shifting out of the north, still staying pretty gusty. Temperatures dipping down to 6. And yes, the fog patches are back. Not likely to be as dense, as thick as yesterday morning, but fog nonetheless. That'll break up in the early morning hours, setting the stage for another warm, another sunny day. 22 degrees with those southerly winds back in full effect at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. From there, wow, do we have a stunning weekend ahead. 22 is what we're looking at on Saturday under clear, sunny skies. Looks like I didn't have to do much work today because not much is changing. Mother Nature is sticking to this theme, and I like it. 25 on Sunday, so very warm. And then it looks like the mercury could be rising even higher into the start of next work week. 24 on Monday. By Tuesday, we could be as hot as 27 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud.
A new mapping system is showing a clearer picture of how widespread invasive pigs are in Manitoba, and it may be helpful in controlling the animals' numbers. Invasive pigs have become a growing concern in recent years. They're difficult to eradicate, reproduce quickly, and destroy crops and natural habitats. So Animal Health Canada has compiled data from across the country of known and reported wild pigs and efforts to remove them. This map is the first time provincial governments and Animal Health Canada have standardized how they track and document wild pig populations. It shows colonies in places like Spruce Woods Provincial Park and around Lake Manitoba. The blue on your screen represents activities related to prevention, management, or removal. Orange represents known locations where pigs have lived continuously for more than a year. And the black dots show verified reports of one or more wild pigs. The data is current as of 2023, and the agency says it will be updated. It will update the map regularly. Prime Minister Mark Carney is headed to the UK later today, talking trade. Over the next 3 days, Carney will meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the Prime Ministers of Iceland, Australia, Spain, and Denmark. Carney is also expected to sit down with business leaders and investors as part of a push to advance trade with international partners. Burial practices are personal and varied, and now at a city-run cemetery in Winnipeg, there's a new option to consider when making final arrangements for yourself or loved ones. CTV's Daniel Homerson explains.
There are more than 110,000 burials at Brookside Cemetery, and now the city of Winnipeg is offering people a new way to be laid to rest here in this half-acre of native grass and wildflowers nestled along Omens Creek.
It's really enclosed by beautiful 100-year-old mature trees, so it's really a very peaceful and tranquil space.
It's called a natural burial, and Brookside is the first cemetery in Manitoba certified by the Green Burial Society of Canada.
With green burial, people are buried, a little bit closer to the surface where the ground is more biologically active. And then their body in the ground can actually be a gift, something that benefits the earth, rather than something that is a strain on it.
The city's cemeteries administrator says there's been a growing demand for options to minimize environmental footprints after death.
Just really looking to have more of a minimal impact on the environment and returning their body back to the earth in a fairly natural state, or as natural as possible.
Brett Schenbach says natural burial follows a few basic fundamentals.
Embalming is not permitted on the site, so bodies are interred within the area, not embalmed. Additionally, bodies are interred in a shroud or biodegradable casket.
Flat markers and upright monuments are also not permitted on this site. Instead, people can honor loved ones on this communal memorial. Schenbach says there's enough space for 130 full-body interments here, with room to expand in the future.
So we're really looking to just sort of learn from this experience and see what kind of response we get from the community.
Daniel Homerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Natural burials can be arranged at Brookside Cemetery, and since announcing this new option Tuesday, the cemetery's administrator says several plots have already been sold. For the first time in 30 years, RCMP officers are getting an update to their uniform shirts. The service says it's working to modernize the uniforms worn by its members. It will be rolling out these new navy blue shirts on a province-by-province basis, starting in Prince Edward Island next month. The RCMP says the process will take 18 months, and so some officers will still be wearing the original gray shirts for a while. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are in action in front of a hometown crowd this weekend, and they'll try to tame the Hamilton Tiger Cats at Princess Auto Stadium. The Bombers are coming off a much-needed win last weekend in Ottawa. Quarterback Zach Caleros, recovering from a head injury, was practicing with the team this week. The Bombers tell CTV News that while his status has not been determined definitively, he is trending in the direction of playing. At the same time, Coach O'Shea says the Bombers' younger players have been stepping up and filling key roles in the lineup.
Their willingness to keep learning, right? Like, you can never arrive as a rookie. You just have to keep on taking in more information. So all these guys have made their share of mistakes, and they've all made an effort to learn from them. And that is what I think is important.
Saturday's game is the 5th annual Orange Shirt Game to mark the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. The team wears orange during warm-up. The jerseys are auctioned off to raise money for Indigenous sports programs, and more than 1,000 Indigenous fans from 90 Manitoba communities will be in the stands. Game time is 2 o'clock. Here's what's happening now in Portage at Polo Park. It looks like things are moving well here to start off this morning. No issues to tell you about. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, please text them to us at 10400. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.36. The provincial average is lower at $1.29. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.28. And the lowest price in the city is $1.22. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, we're live at this gorgeous home in Oak Bluff, telling you all about the 2025 HSC Millionaire Lottery. Stay with us for an interview with Milt Stiegel.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
We are still a few minutes away from official sunrise, but we're getting a cool kind of gradient effect on the sky. It's nice and clear, 15 degrees. Winds are strong, judging by my hair, all messed up, out of the northwest at 22, gusting at times to 32 clicks. Pressure falling, humidity at 78%. So clear conditions are kind of the name of the game for all of Manitoba today, as are above seasonal temperatures. Not as warm as yesterday. For us here in the south, those are highs in the upper teens. Winnipeg 18, 15 is more what's typical. Most of the province is in that kind of ballpark for highs, except for the southwest. You should likely break the 20-degree mark, kind of the hot spot of the province. Very warm temperatures, as mentioned. Strong southerly winds, particularly in the morning at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour, losing a little bit of heft into the afternoon. Overnight tonight, we could see the return of some fog here in southern Manitoba. Meanwhile, we set the stage for more warm temperatures and more sunshine as an upper ridge kind of builds. For us here in the south, we're going to be cracking the 20-degree mark starting tomorrow. 22 is what we're looking at in Winnipeg with plenty of sunshine. Slight chance for some rainfall overnight in northern Manitoba on Friday. The rest of us, though, will be dealing with lots of sunshine and above seasonal values for a good number of days to come, not just this weekend.
The fall bonus deadline for the 2025 HSC Millionaire Lottery is midnight tonight, and there's a ton of prizes up for grabs. And speaking of grabs, I'm joined now by arguably the CFL's greatest receiver of all time, Blue Bomber great, and HSC Millionaire Lottery spokesperson, Milt Stiegel. Good morning, Milt.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. We could be talking about CFL rule changes, but we have something way more important this morning. Now, you've been a spokesperson for the lottery since 2016. Why is helping this community so important to you?
Shucks. There's so many reasons, but the main reason is because this community has helped me and done so much for me when I've had, things I've gone through, or when things are good, when things are bad. This community has always been there for me. So this is just a small way of me giving back to so many who have done so much for me and my family.
And let's talk about the prizes. What's jumping out at you this year?
Man, it's always the cash. I mean, there are some great prizes, homes, cars, vacations, all those things. But when you talk about tax-free cash and how that can change an individual's life, you know, somebody's gonna be Manitoba's next millionaire, $1.25 million cash. So that's always stands out to me, and I'm sure that's the case for everyone else. But there's so many great prizes, and like I always say, every single year, the ultimate prizes know that you're helping out the Health Sciences Center and what they do for so many throughout the province of Manitoba.
And I saw there's Grey Cup tickets obviously happening right here in Winnipeg this year. Very exciting. Now, any early predictions, Milt?
Man, you're putting me on the spot. I always say the Bombers have a chance. Their chances aren't as good as they've been in past years, but as long as they're in it, they have an opportunity. So let's hope that they get an opportunity and they get in it, because that would be the ultimate if the Winnipeg Blue Bombers can win the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. That's what we're all hoping for.
All right, thanks so much, Milt. And you can learn more about the HSC Millionaire Lottery, all those prizes, and of course tonight's fall bonus at hscmillionaire.com.
Looking at the early markets, the Dow Jones slipping slightly overnight. The Nasdaq and S&P index are also trading lower. The loonie is trading flat at 72 cents U.S. The Hang Seng lost 34 points, and the Nikkei index added 124 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. The province is in the early stages of twinning a stretch of highway north of Winnipeg. A spokesperson for Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure says the department is currently in the design stage for twinning 14 kilometers of Highway 59. The stretch of highway runs from Highway 12 to about 4 kilometers south of South Beach Casino. The design phase is expected to take somewhere between 1 and 2 years, with construction to follow. The province says it's too early to say when it might be completed. Quebec's French language minister says a move to ban use of gender-neutral language in all official communications is not about exclusion.
We have some people are gender fluid. They are who they are who they want to be, and this won't change.
The policy also doesn't allow using both masculine and feminine endings in words. The order covers all provincial ministries, municipalities, as well as education networks and the healthcare system. 2 demonstrations are planned in Longueuil this weekend after a police officer shot and killed a teenage boy.
We're marching for Nuan, really for his memory. We're marching because we demand justice.
On Saturday, friends of Nuran Riz Ayi will march through his South Shore neighborhood, stopping at the police station and ending in front of his home. On Sunday, another march will be held to demand justice a week after his killing. A team of psychosocial intervention workers are at Riz Ayi's school this week, providing support to students and staff as well. There's also skepticism over an investigation of the killing by Quebec's police watchdog. In the past 9 years, the BEI has looked into more than 400 cases. Only 2 have resulted in charges against police officers. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered the Secret Service to investigate a stopped escalator.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle.
This happened on Tuesday at the UN. President Trump was about to step on the escalator when it stopped, forcing him to walk. President Trump would go on to say it was a part of a triple sabotage that also included mic and teleprompter problems during his address to the General Assembly. The UN insists there is no plot against the U.S. president and that it was his videographer who triggered the shutoff by stepping back on the escalator after getting off. President Trump is expected to sign an executive order today for the sale of TikTok. The deal would see the app's parent company sell its U.S. operations to a group of American investors. There is no deal yet, however. Today's order is only expected to declare that deal is being negotiated. Congress passed a law in 2024 to ban the app. A series of extensions is keeping TikTok working in the U.S. Researchers in London, Ontario are testing a new dialysis filter they believe could help patients with kidney failure live longer, healthier lives. Using a special filter, dialysis removes waste, salt, and fluid from the body, essentially doing the work of a kidney.
We're doing the study to determine does removal of these toxins with these new filters actually help people live longer, stay out of the hospital, not get hospitalized and feel better.
The 5-year trial called Dial-X will include nearly 5,000 patients across more than 100 dialysis units in Canada. The study will track symptoms to determine if the new filter improves patient outcomes. Manitoba continues to lose people to interprovincial migration, but the rate has slowed compared to recent years. New data from Statistics Canada shows our province had a net loss of around 4,000 people last year. That's the lowest level since the pandemic. That said, the population overall continues to climb, reaching 1,509,000 as of July. Manitoba hasn't had a net gain in population from interprovincial migration since 1982. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The curb lanes on Ellis are closed at Century Street. Eastbound Dugald Road is closed from Plessis to Ravenhurst. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please text them at 10400.
Casting our eye to the sky, 15 degrees out there, nice and clear to kick us off. Winds out of the north-northwest, decently strong at 22, gusting at times to 32 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 78%. Lots of sunshine and warmth on the way for us, as evidenced by this very clear satellite image. Not a lot to tell you about because, yes, lots of sunshine in the cards for today and for the weekend to come. I think that'll be good news to many folks. It is quite blustery in Island Lake and Churchill. The rest of you, though, in store for a mix of sun and clouds. 17 degrees in Thompson, 14 in Gillam, 10 in Churchill. Island Lake above seasonal and gusty at 17 kilometers per hour. To the northwest, lots of sunshine for you above seasonal values here in the upper teens. A little bit chillier in Island Lake at 15. Southwestern Manitoba, you're kind of the hot spot of the province. Temperatures rising to 19 in Brandon, 18 in Neepawa, Dauphin and Swan River, very similar highs. For us here in South Central Manitoba, clear sunny skies, above seasonal, not quite as warm as we've been seeing. 15 is what's typical, 18 is what we're looking at today in Winnipeg. Strong southerly winds into the morning hours, around 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. Should lose a little bit of gusto into the afternoon. Meanwhile, northwestern Ontario, mix of sun and cloud for you. Temperatures in the upper teens, or for Fort Frances, low 20s. Looking ahead to the weekend, it's looking pretty darn gorgeous. As you can see, 18 degrees, though it is above seasonal, will be one of our coolest temperatures to come. 22 on Friday under sunshine. Saturday, much the same, although our overnight low much chillier at 9 degrees. And then Sunday, look at that, 25 degrees. And then into the next work week, we're sticking with that and getting even hotter in the case of Tuesday, a high of 27.
Thank you, Catherine. A new report suggests brain injuries linked to sports are more common than previously thought. CTV's John Musselman has more on the efforts being taken to keep people safe.
The key finding in this study shows that sports and recreational brain injuries are more prevalent than previously thought. The data shows that about 37% of brain injuries reported between 2010 and 2019 in Ontario hospitals were related to sports and recreational activities. That's more than triple the previous estimate of 12%. The positive news is that brain injuries dropped nearly 10% following the introduction of Rowan's Law. It was named in honor of Ottawa teen rugby player Rowan Stringer, who died from second impact syndrome in 2013.
If there's a player who's suspected of having a brain injury, you need to remove that player from play immediately and make sure that they're checked by a healthcare professional before they return. And this was the information that would have saved Rowan Stringer's life.
Dr. Jesse Young is a researcher with CAMH and the lead author of this study.
I think my biggest surprise was how prevalent sports and recreation-related traumatic brain injury is. Particularly because we're looking at hospital-treated traumatic brain injury. So if you think about the total burden, it's likely much larger than what we were able to observe in the study, because we only observed those who consider it or have symptoms that prompt them to seek care. And we know that many people who have traumatic brain injury, whether it's sports-related or otherwise, don't actually seek care for those symptoms.
Ontario has absolutely been the leader in Canada on this, and at the recent FPT meeting in August, Minister Lumsden stood up and asked the other provinces to think about adopting Rowan's Law.
The legislation sets out a framework for how parents, coaches, trainers, and athletes should respond if a brain injury is suspected during sports or recreational activities. John Musselman, CTV News.
The CFL isn't the only league making changes. There's also a major change coming to Major League Baseball next season. A new pitch to change the way the game is called. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has the reaction to the new high-tech challenge system.
It's a strike, and again, not reviewable. Oh, boy. And then that call goes against them.
In baseball, it's an argument as old as the game itself.
Uh-oh. He should not have picked up the dirt.
Strikes called balls.
Wow, Ollie's got to hold him back.
Balls called strikes.
That ball a good 3 inches off the outside corner.
Sometimes leading to close quarter disagreements.
They are yelling at each other like this close, like face to face. The really immature managers are kicking dirt on the ump.
And Billy is not going to go quietly.
They've been sort of like Supreme Court justices. There has been no higher court.
That will change as of next season. Major League Baseball confirming that each team will get at least 2 chances to challenge a ball or a strike in the event of human error, using an automated ball strike system known as ABS.
This is a very good day for baseball fans, because the last thing you want is games ended because of a bad call.
ABS technology is also being used in tennis and football. The league says it will take no more than 15 seconds for a challenged pitch to be decided. The commissioner of Major League Baseball saying the move will preserve the integral role of the umpire in the game with the ability to correct a missed call in a high-leverage situation. Some MLB players voted against the new rule, but a committee made up of owners and big leaguers pushed the progressive plan across home plate following years of discussion.
Baseball's been going on since before the First World War, and now they're finally doing this.
The new rule is expected to keep things more amicable here on the field. This year, 60% of all ejections of players and coaches in the majors stemmed from arguments over balls and strikes. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
It's Thursday, September 25th. Today's school absence crisis. A new documentary highlights shocking absentee rates, with one school seeing more than 70% of students missing. Plus, Brandon attack update. Charges have been upgraded in the June high school sword attack, with the Crown seeking adult sentencing. And baby names revealed. Olivia and Noah top the charts again, but a spelling twist could shake up rankings. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Welcome to Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next hour for you to cover, including our community connection at 7:52. It's called Empower Men, and it's a program that is trying to raise awareness among young men about sex exploitation, who is at risk, and what they can do. Giving them some advice on some of the warning signs so that they can maybe get involved and do something to stop it and maybe even change it. So we're going to talk more about that. But the weather, it was beautiful again yesterday. There was fog, a lot of fog yesterday morning, and we should expect a little bit more today.
Potentially tomorrow. Today looking decently clear. Usually the running joke is when Terry is gone, it's because the forecast is going to be terrible.
Right.
It's the opposite. We have a lovely weekend ahead, lots of sunshine and above seasonal values. Today, though, maybe a slight downturn in our temperatures, but still above seasonal. But if we look outside, we mentioned those clear skies. Ooh, look at that. The sunshine starting to appear. We have kind of that cool, like, gradient effect that I just love. Winds are out of the north-northwest, strong and gusty at 22 to 32 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling. Humidity at 78%. We're actually going to start to see the wind shift later on this morning out of the south, and they're going to be very strong throughout the morning. Not a lot to report on with our radar. It's shown lots of clear skies ahead, not the fog we saw yesterday, and a lot of sunshine to look forward to. There is a slight, very slight chance of some rainfall to the very northeast corner there. Likely, though, it'll be clear, above seasonal. Temperatures in the upper teens for much of the province. A few areas in the southwest could crack the 20-degree mark. A lot of sunshine to enjoy. The winds that I mentioned that'll shift out of the south will be strong in the morning hours, tapering off into the afternoon. Overnight, Rochelle, you mentioned that fog. It could be returning to us here in southern Manitoba. Doesn't show up on our our radar on our futurecast here, but it will likely roll in overnight, as does this system here on the doorstep that's bringing the chance of some showers overnight Friday to northern Manitoba, maybe into Saturday morning. Likely, though, lots of sunshine for us in southern Manitoba. In terms of our temperatures, if you can believe it, today will be our coolest day to come. 18 degrees, 15 is more what's typical for this time of year. Temperatures overnight dipping down to 6, and then Saturday we're back above the 20, or Friday, excuse me, back above the 20-degree mark, but that's the case for the whole weekend, as you can see. 22 on Friday and Saturday respectively, lots of sunshine. Sunday we get even warmer, climbing to 25. Next week, no slouch either. We're looking at a high of 24 on Monday, and we're getting as warm as about 27 midweek. Your weather art of the day, Emma, 8 years old, complaining about the cold. Emma, I'm happy to be delivering some nice warm temperatures for you, because I am that person always complaining about the cold. Thanks for drawing. Thanks to Emma's mother for submitting. And we would love to see your weather art of the day. In fact, we are really dwindling on our submissions. We're guilting you kids. Get those pens and papers out, gets the coloring. You can email those entries to winnipegweather@ctv.ca, because a reminder, we are featuring one kid's weather-themed artwork every day on Your Morning Winnipeg. So be sure to send us those photos.
Thank you, Catherine. A new documentary is drawing attention to the problem of students not going to school. A trailer for the feature says the absentee rate at one school was as high as 71%. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the organization that produced the documentary says the issue is getting pushed to the side.
Reg Clausen says it was hard to hear about students who weren't showing up for class, some for months at a time.
Hadn't registered, and it was the middle of November. Was painful. It was painful for all of us in the school division.
The former school superintendent says absenteeism is a problem, and it's become worse since the pandemic. So he said yes when asked to participate in a documentary on the subject.
What matters is that we're getting a message out, and we need to do something significant.
The documentary Absent was produced by faith-based organization Inner City Youth Alive. Executive Director Kent Duick says some schools in Winnipeg's North End are experiencing high rates of absenteeism.
It can be things that are happening in the home. It can be challenges related to addiction. It can be mental health.
He's calling on school divisions and the province to do more outreach to get students back in class and put more programs in place to keep them in class once they do come back.
The issue is always getting pushed out of the way, and it's sort of an open secret. You know, teachers know that it's bad.
6% of our students, really struggle with attendance.
Winnipeg School Division Superintendent Matt Henderson says staff members do make house calls in cases where students are missing school for long periods of time, and schools are trying to reduce barriers while adding programs.
You know, what we've done is really extended the day for as many students as we can. We're feeding as many students as we can, breakfast, lunch, snack. We see the power of programs like football.
Manitoba's education minister says they are working hard to address this and says the school nutrition program they introduced is paying off.
What we're seeing is that kids are showing up to school, they're showing up on time, and they're showing up ready and excited to learn.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
New details are emerging about a brutal sword attack at a Brandon high school. Charges against the teenager accused in the attack this past June have been upgraded. And if found guilty, the Crown wants the teen sentenced as an adult. The 16-year-old male was previously facing 1 count of attempted murder and 2 counts of assault with a weapon. However, the Crown has confirmed those assault charges have now been upgraded, leaving the accused facing 3 counts of attempted murder. This all comes after Brandon police arrested the teen on June 10th, accusing him of brutally attacking another 15-year-old student with a sword, leaving them with serious injuries. Police have since alleged the attack was racially motivated. The maximum youth sentence for attempted murder is up to 3 years in custody, while the maximum adult sentence is life in prison. The lawyer for the accused tells CTV News they are opposed to the adult sentencing. CTV News has also learned there were additional victims in this attack. Brandon Police Chief Tyler Bates tells CTV News following the initial attack on the 15-year-old boy, a suspect armed with a sword allegedly chased a staff member and another student at the school. Both were able to escape unharmed without physical injuries. Just a note, the victims or the names of any victims, witnesses, and accused under 18 are all protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. None of the charges or allegations have been tested in court. Teams are expanding the search area for a 5-year-old Alberta boy who has been missing since Sunday.
The search for Darius is still continuing in full force, with every responding unit working together in their fullest capacity.
Roughly 100 people are now taking part in the search for Darius McDougall, who went missing near the Island Lake campground in southern Alberta. Helicopters are taking part in the effort, and search and rescue teams have now expanded their radius to 6.6 kilometers. McDougall went missing after a walk with 6 young family members over the weekend. The RCMP says it is still optimistic he will be found alive. 400 ostriches from a BC farm have been given an 11th hour stay from a planned cull.
They're safe today! They live today!
The farm's co-owner and her daughter, who have been the public face of the fight against the cull, rejoiced after learning the news. The Supreme Court of Canada granted the last-minute stay, preventing the CFIA from culling the flock as the farm appeals. The ostriches were ordered to be culled after an avian flu outbreak at the farm last year. The CFIA says it will follow the court's order while maintaining custody at the farm. We're continuing to follow the latest developments from Dallas, Texas, after a deadly shooting at a temporary holding center by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE. We now know that a detainee is dead and 2 others were critically wounded. The suspect has been identified as 29-year-old Joshua Jan. The head of ICE says Jan died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities also say the shooter opened fire from a nearby roof with a rifle, shooting indiscriminately at the ICE building, including at a van where the victims were shot. Tropical storm Humberto has formed in the Atlantic. The storm is expected to affect the eastern U.S. within the next 5 days. It's one of 2 major storms through the Atlantic right now. Hurricane Gabrielle is racing toward the Azores Islands. A hurricane warning is in effect in the area, which could see dangerous conditions as early as today. Assiniboine Park is going to become a lot more green thanks to a generous donation from a local philanthropist. Assiniboine Park Conservancy is celebrating a $600,000 donation from Bob Williams. The money will allow it to plant 200 new trees annually for the next 3 years and take care of maintenance for many years afterwards. Williams was awarded the Order of Manitoba last year in recognition of the millions of dollars he has donated in support of the arts, healthcare, and nature. The list of the most popular baby names in Canada is out, and a couple of familiar choices dominate the charts. For the 9th year running, Olivia is the most popular name for girls, while Noah tops the list for boys for the 4th straight year. Runners-up were Liam and Charlotte. However, Sophia with a PH and Sophia with an F came in separately in 5th and 6th. If combined, that name would topple Olivia's reign as most popular. If you're interested, you can see the full list at ctvnews.ca. A lopsided match in Winnipeg high school football action Wednesday evening. The Dakota Lancers were in action, taking on the Vincent Massey Trojans, and Dakota was all over the Trojans, scoring repeatedly. They won this contest 34-0. In other action Wednesday, Oak Park defeated St. Paul's 43-6. And here's what's happening in traffic now along the Norwood Bridge. Looks like things are moving well over here, but traffic volumes have picked up, as you can see. If you see any problems out on the streets, text them to us at 10400. Let's go now to Daniel Homerson, who's live in a beautiful home. It's all about talking about the HSC Millionaire Lottery. This is a home you could win if you get that lottery ticket.
Yeah, absolutely. There's several different homes the winner can choose from here in the Winnipeg area. We're out in Oak Bluff today, as well as out in BC. But tonight is the fall bonus deadline, midnight tonight. Over $48,000 in prizes available. That includes cold hard cash, vehicles, travel vouchers, and more. Tickets are available at hscmillionaire.com by phone or select retail outlets like Red River Co-ops here in the city and surrounding area. And the 50-50 tonight we're hearing could peak over $800,000, Rochelle. So very, very exciting. And coming up, we're going to speak with HSC Foundation folks about where this money goes and how it supports patient care and medical research right here in Manitoba.
We are still about 10 minutes away from official sunrise, and when it's up, it's going to be shining brightly and gorgeously over the province. Casting our eye to our temperatures, 13 degrees, a few clouds maybe in other parts of the city, excuse me. It's relatively clear here in downtown. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 22 clicks. Messing up my hair. Rude. The barometric pressure is rising. The humidity sits at 77%. Okay, so speaking of those winds, they're going to be quite strong here in southern Manitoba. They're going to shift out of the south at about 30 to 50 kilometers per hour in the morning hours specifically. They should loosen up a little bit into the afternoon. Skies nice and clear throughout the province. Highs above seasonal in the upper teens through most areas. Slightly warmer in the Dauphin Swan River area. But it's making for an easy uniform day for me because, yes, we're all dealing with those above seasonal highs. For us in Winnipeg, is 18, 15 is what's typical. Overnight, we could get a little bit of that fog back, not quite as dense as we saw just yesterday, but particularly the south could be having a foggy evening. Temperatures dipping down to the single digits. For Winnipeg, I believe it is 6 degrees. Meanwhile, the winds will be ramping up and shifting once again out of the north at 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, though, the fog should dissipate in the morning with lots of sunshine on the way and hotter highs. 22 is what's expected in Winnipeg. And if you can believe it, the mercury is set to rise even higher into the weekend with plenty more sunshine.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It's time now for our question of the day. It's National One Hit Wonder Day. So we want to know, what's your favorite one-hit wonder? You can text your favorite one-hit wonder song along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. It's no rumor, the world's finest Fleetwood Mac tribute band is coming to Winnipeg, and we want you to go. Rumors of Fleetwood Mac will hit the Burton Cummings Theatre stage on Saturday, October 18th, and you could be there. Your Morning Winnipeg is giving away a pair of tickets to the show. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Good luck. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg. Good morning. A warning for those of you living in the province's north. RCMP are warning about an uptick in grandparent scams in the area. Typically, Mounties say the person receives a call from someone claiming to be either a relative or a lawyer asking for large sums of money for bail. The person is instructed to send the money via mail to an address outside the province. RCMP say at least 4 elderly people in Flin Flon have been targeted in this way recently, 2 of whom lost thousands of dollars. Police say if you receive a call like this, you could hang up and call your family member or local police directly to find out if it's legitimate. A new study suggests any amount of alcohol consumption may increase your risk of dementia. Researchers analyzed health data from nearly 560,000 people in the U.S. and U.K. They found there was a 15% higher dementia risk for 3 drinks per week compared to 1 drink per week across a person's life. They also carried out genetic analysis of more than 2 million people and found a higher genetic risk for alcohol consumption was associated with a higher risk of dementia. The researchers say the study does not prove drinking alcohol directly causes dementia. However, it does add to similar data showing there is an association between the two. The study was published Tuesday in the journal BMJ, Evidence-Based Medicine. The City of Winnipeg says higher levels of bacteria and viruses will soon start flowing into the Red River. It's only temporary as workers need to shut off the UV treatment at the North End wastewater treatment plant while upgrades are underway. It means the water may be more harmful for humans and pets, but not fish. Anyone living within 3 kilometers downstream will be contacted directly. The UV treatment will be turned off next Wednesday and is expected to resume in March. The city notes this will not affect anyone's drinking water. Sometimes you just need a little magic in your life.
It's fantastic. It's really bringing me back to my childhood.
Caleb Essex is spreading positivity in Victoria. He's not a magician, but many people believe his creations are magical. Caleb says it's all about the science as the sun bounces between the bubbles layers. For him, it's a hobby, but for the many who have come to watch, it's an escape and a place to feel young again at any age. Isn't that fun? Taking a look now at what's going on Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. Looks like a smooth drive over here. We have no issues to tell you about in this part of the city. If you do see problems out on the streets, though, please text them to us at 10400. Time now for some entertainment news. Fans are getting ready to go back to Oz, and on Tuesday they were treated to a final sneak peek of the second Wicked movie.
You can't resist this.
Who could?
You know who could.
Wicked for Good tells the rest of the story of the original musical as the two witches played by Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande find themselves on opposite sides of a fight for the land's future. Jonathan Bailey, Michelle Yeoh, and Jeff Goldblum also make the returns. Wicked for Good hits theaters November 21st. Swifties, mark your calendars. Her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, is coming out next month. Fans can celebrate the drop together at a release party screenings being hosted by Cineplex. The official release party of A Showgirl will feature Swift's never-before-seen reflections on her new album. The shows play October 3rd to the 5th. Tickets go on sale today. The skateboard from one of the most legendary moments in the history of the sport has set another record. Tony Hawk's board from his landmark 900 trick has sold at auction for $1.15 million US, a record for a piece of skateboarding memorabilia. The American was the first skater to land the move during the 1999 X Games. The proceeds go to Hawk's charity that builds public skate parks in underserved areas. Hell's Kitchen heats up your primetime lineup at 7. At 8, it's Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. And catch The Amazing Race at 8:30. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
I very much trust that that was like a record-breaking move, but they all look impressive and very similar. So kudos to Tony Hawk. I'm sure my criticism will just absolutely make him upset. 13 degrees, just kidding. It's nice and clear out there. Look at that sunshine. It's officially past our official rising time. 7:19 is what Environment Canada predicted. Winds out of the north-northwest. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 77%. Okay, lots of sunshine on the way, and warm temperatures. Not quite as warm as we saw yesterday, but nothing to complain about, that's for sure. We're already off to a balmy start, if you will, at 12 degrees in Portage and Gimli. Brandon at 10. Dauphin, coincidentally, a little bit sluggish, 7 degrees, while you're likely to be one of the warmest spots of the province. Lee, move out of the way. So you folks in Kenora can see in Sprague, 14 and 16 degrees. To the north we go. Temperatures very much similar. 7 in the Paw, 8 in Flin Flon, 5 in Thompson. Over in Churchill, not too bad, 9 degrees this hour. Not a ton to show you on our radar because we're dealing with clear skies, and that's likely to be the case for the next day and many days to come for that matter. In terms of when the kids head out on the bus, nice and warm, lots of sunshine, 14 degrees as they arrive to class. By lunchtime, you're into 16 degrees with lots of sunshine, and it's going to get a touch warmer as they head home at 18 under those clear sunny skies. That coincidentally is also our high. We will be dealing with some gusty winds in the morning. They'll be shifting into the south at 30 to 50 kilometers per hour, losing a good amount of heft into the afternoon. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to 6, and coincidentally, the winds ramp up again, this time out of the north at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Potential for some fog overnight. Those patches will dissipate into the early morning hours tomorrow, setting the stage for a sunny day with a high of 22 degrees. Much the same on Saturday, and then Sunday, scorcher at 25 degrees. And we're sticking around that kind of mark for the next a couple days to come into next work week. Okay, we mentioned that fog. Wow, was it dense? Letellier, Manitoba, you can barely see those wind turbines as captured by Eve on camera. Thank you so much for sending that in. And if you've got any weather photos you'd like us to see, email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. Maybe a dream vacation, some home renovations, paying off some bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is 1000. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word 1000 with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. It's time for our Pet of the Week reveal, and this week we're celebrating Poppy. Now you might be asking, which one is Poppy? Michelle tells us Poppy is the pup doing the sitting while her friend Willow is being sat upon. Poppy is a rescue from Manitoba Mutts and enjoys time by the lake and camping at Balleton Beach. Congratulations to this good girl. Look at that face. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so keep them coming. Please share a fun photo or a photo and a fun story about your pet, dog, cat, bird, or any other buddy at petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. All right, take a look at this gorgeous living room. If you buy a lottery ticket for the HSC Millionaire Lottery, you have a chance of winning this home for yourself. We're going to find out more on how you can get your hands on tickets. Stay with us. Let's go now to Daniel Homerson, who's standing in a gorgeous home this morning, and that home could be something you win if you buy a ticket. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Rochelle. Good morning, Manitoba. It's the 2025 HSC Millionaire Lottery. The fall bonus deadline is tonight. Over $48,000 in prizes being given away. But right now I'm joined by the president and CEO of the HSC Foundation, Jonathan Lyon. Good morning.
Great to be with you.
Thank you for having us in this beautiful home. Now, we're going to talk prizes a little later, but tell us a little bit about where the money raised from this lottery goes to.
You know, right now we're in the middle of a transformational campaign at the HSC called Operation Excellence that will end surgical wait lists at HSC by 2030. And proceeds from lottery help support this campaign, where we're making strategic investments in expanded operating facilities, expanded pain clinic, and new technology, minimally invasive technology for surgeries, so that patients can get better outcomes, shorter hospital stays, and the like. And an example of this $108 million campaign that we're partnering with the government of Manitoba on is an acquisition we did in the last year of the Da Vinci surgical robot. And, you know, surgical robots kind of sound scary to the average person, but I assure you they're not. But we now have the first surgical robot in Manitoba at Manitoba's Hospital, the Health Sciences Center. It's been operational for a year. We've had over 300 patients who have benefited from surgical care, and we're seeing, again, great advances in medicine so that people can get in and out of the hospital sooner. The average length of stay with a surgical procedure, because there's more precision involved with it, is reduced significantly. So no one wants to be in the hospital, no one wants to be sick, but when you are, you want to have the tools and technology there to allow Manitobans to get better care sooner, and that's the kind of investments we're able to make with leading edge medical equipment through the purchase of lottery tickets. So we're grateful to Manitobans for their support, and we thank them for that very much. And knowing that there's a direct line between buying a lottery ticket and better patient care at HSC Manitoba's hospital.
Wonderful. And of course, head to hscmillionaire.com to buy your tickets today for that fall bonus deadline tonight.
Well, Manitobans have certainly been rich in terms of the weather, and we're going to keep cashing in today. 13 degrees out there, 1 or 2 clouds, although they are really not visible in downtown Winnipeg. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 77%. We've had above seasonal days and lots of sunshine. We're not going to be quite as warm today, but this weekend is a different story. I'll have the details in a moment. As evidenced, as very little evidence of any clouds, lots of sunshine on the way as our radar is picking up nothing but clear skies. Meanwhile, our highs today, as mentioned, we're still going to be warm. 15 is what's typical, and we're getting up to 18. However, we've been cracking the 20-degree mark. That will be returning, just not today. Winds, meanwhile, very strong out of the south at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. That'll likely only be in the morning, and they'll lose a good amount of heft into the afternoon, lightening up considerably, mainly sunny skies, as mentioned. Overnight, the winds, though, will shift and come back decently predominantly strong out of the north at 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures dipping down to 6. The return of some fog, likely not as dense as we saw yesterday because that was something, but foggy nonetheless. Those patches sticking around into the early morning on Friday, breaking up in due time though, setting the stage for lots of sunshine with a high of 22. Strong southerly winds again at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. I mentioned a hot and sunny weekend. This is what I was talking about. 22 on Saturday under clear sunny skies, temperatures dipping overnight to 9. Sunday, very hot, 25 degrees. That's basically 10 degrees warmer than what's typical. Kick off next work week under very warm conditions, 24 with the sunshine. And if you can believe it, we get even hotter on Tuesday with a high of 27 under a mix of sun and cloud.
Thank you, Catherine. A new mapping system is showing a clearer picture of how widespread invasive pigs are in Manitoba, and it may be helpful in controlling the animals' numbers. Invasive pigs have become a growing concern in recent years. They're difficult to eradicate. They reproduce quickly and destroy crops and natural habitats. So Animal Health Canada has compiled data from across the country of known and reported wild pigs and efforts to remove them. This map is the first time provincial governments and Animal Health Canada have standardized how they track and document wild pig populations. It shows colonies in places like Spruce Woods Provincial Park and around Lake Manitoba. The blue on your screen represents activities related to prevention, management, or removal. Orange represents known locations where pigs have lived continuously for more than a year, and the black dots show verified reports of one or more wild pigs. The data is current as of 2023, and the agency says it will be updated, will update the map regularly. An RBC employee is facing charges for allegedly accessing Prime Minister Mark Carney's personal data.
This is the Prime Minister's financial information. And what I gather from this is that this is clearly information that could be potentially leveraged by what we call a threat actor.
The RCMP charged Ibrahim El Hakim with fraud over $5,000, unauthorized use of computer, identity theft, and trafficking in identity information. They were working off a tip from RBC. The RCMP says there is no threat to the Prime Minister's safety or national security. The suspect is no longer working at RBC and is due back in court next month. Prime Minister Carney is headed to the UK later today, talking trade. Over the next 3 days, Carney will meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the Prime Ministers of Iceland, Australia, Spain, and Denmark. Carney is also expected to sit down with business leaders and investors as part of a push to advance trade with international partners. For the second time this week, drones have disrupted activity at a Danish airport. Aalborg Airport in the country's north is used for both commercial and military flights and had to close between 11 p.m. last night and around 2 a.m. this morning. Authorities in Denmark are calling it a hybrid attack sent by a professional actor. They also say the drones were launched locally but aren't blaming Russia or anyone else as a result. Denmark's national police have raised the crisis level. The government is also considering bringing an Article 4 discussion to NATO over the matter. Estonia and Poland did the same over similar drone incidents earlier this month. Frightening scenes captured by security cameras in California's Bay Area, where a mob of nearly 24 suspects stormed and ransacked a jewelry store. The brazen daytime heist robbed the store of an estimated $1 million US worth of goods. The group was armed with at least 3 guns, crowbars, and pickaxes, smashing and grabbing whatever they could. They fled the scene in 6 getaway vehicles that were standing by. Police say 7 of the suspects have been arrested. The U.S. Department of Justice has a few days left to decide if charges will be laid against former FBI Director James Comey. Comey is being investigated for perjury for his testimony to Congress in 2020 about Russian meddling in the 2016 election. U.S. President Donald Trump fired the last U.S. attorney in charge of the case as he applies pressure on justice officials to prosecute his political enemies. Comey insists he was truthful under oath. The 5-year statute of limitations to indict the former FBI director expires next week. The owners of a Nova Scotia cookie company were paid the ultimate respect after being invited to this year's Emmy Awards.
I was excited about meeting Sharon Stone. She opened our cookies and started eating them on the spot.
The Nova Scotian Cookie Company has 3 flavors: original shortbread, blueberry, and chocolate chip. They're distinct because they're all baked in the shape of a lighthouse. Owner Jenna Ross and her daughter went to LA and gave their cookies out. Their cookies are baked and packaged in Nova Scotia by the Flower Cart Group, a nonprofit that provides employment opportunities to adults with intellectual disabilities. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The curb lanes on Ellis are closed at Century Street. Eastbound Dougal Road is closed from Plessis to Ravenhurst. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share, please text them to us at 10400. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.36. The provincial average is lower at $1.29. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.28, and the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.22. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Right now, it is mainly cloudy, a little bit of sun peeking through. It's 13 degrees. Your Morning Winnipeg will be back right after this.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Looking outside, it's setting the stage for a lovely day. 13 degrees, 1 or 2 clouds out there, though downtown it is nice and clear. Winds out of the north-northwest, pressure rising, humidity sits at 77%. Welcome back to Your Morning Winnipeg on this gorgeous Thursday, and gorgeous indeed, as evidenced by our satellite. Not a lot to show you there because it's going to be nice and clear, nice and sunny, above seasonal values to look forward to in basically all of the province. There is a good amount of blustery winds on tap for Churchill. The rest of the northeast, though, mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures there into the upper teens, a little bit cooler in Gillam at 14, Churchill at 11. To the northwest, sunshine, 1 or 2 periods of clouds. Hotter temperatures than what you're seeing with your compatriots in the east. 19 degrees in the Pas, 17 in Flin Flon, 16 in Lynn Lake, a balmy 19 degrees in Norway House. Southwestern Manitoba, it's looking very hot in Swan River with a high of 20 degrees. The rest upper teens, lots of sunshine for you. Very strong southerly winds, particularly in the morning hours. Same for us here in more central regions of the province. The winds do ease off nicely into the afternoon. Highs there in the upper teens. Into northwestern Ontario, very similar conditions, though a little bit more cloudy. Mix of sun and cloud for you. 19 in Kenora and Dryden, 22 in Fort Frances, Red Lake at 17. Okay, and for the rest of the weekend, wow, it's looking gorgeous. Into Friday, we're looking at a high of 22 degrees. Same thing for Saturday, if I could reach that far. Sunshine, 22 degrees, and gets even hotter on Sunday. Wow, look at that, 25 degrees. A reminder, 15, 16 is typical. We're almost 10 degrees above that. Monday, 24, kicking off the work week with sunshine. If you can believe it, getting even hotter from there. Tuesday, a high of 27. Are we out of September by then? I'm not even positive, but late September, these are astounding. And then Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud, and not too shabby, 24 degrees.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go now to Daniel Homerson, who's live and telling us all about the HSC Millionaire Lottery. And it's when you buy that lottery ticket, it's about winning potentially $1 million or a home, but it's also about patient care in our province. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, we've been out here in Oak Bluff this morning. The sun's shining in this beautiful home built by Sterling Homes. It's one of the grand prize options in this year's lottery. I'm joined now by Whitney Morrison from the HSC Foundation. Good morning, Whitney.
Good morning, Danny.
Now, Jonathan had, he told us all about where this money goes for it, but you get the fun part. You get to tell us about some of these incredible prizes this year. What jumps out to you?
Well, as always, our grand prize options, and so this is one of them, is Beautiful Home by Sterling Homes. We've got 4 Made in Manitoba millionaire mansions. We've also got the ultimate Canadian retirement dream, which is a condo on the ocean in BC. Each of those home packages comes jam-packed with cars, cash, travel, gas and groceries, and more. Or you can always take the cash option, which is $1.25 million tax-free.
Milt Stiegel, I asked him, what he'd pick, and he said that cold hard cash. Now, as a football player, he also said, maybe some Grey Cup tickets, and that's one of the big options this year.
Yeah, we are so lucky to have the Grey Cup in our own backyard at Princess Auto Stadium this year. And when the Bombers make it to the Grey Cup, those tickets will be priceless. So 3 lucky winners will get a pair of tickets to the 112th Grey Cup, and that's going to be amazing.
And it's just before 8 o'clock this morning. Now, midnight tonight is the fall bonus deadline. What do people need to know?
Okay, so you need to get your tickets before midnight tonight. Go to hscmillionaire.com. You can buy your tickets. You can check out pictures of all of our fantastic prizes, or you can give us a call at 204-253-5688.
Awesome. And coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to a former HSC patient turned Paralympic medalist, the first Canadian woman to win a medal in the triathlon at the 2024 Paris Paralympics. That's coming up in the 8 o'clock hour.
Thank you, Daniel. A tiny home community in New Brunswick is making a giant impact on people's lives, taking them off the streets, out of poverty, and giving them a second chance. CTV's Sarah Plowman explains.
The homes are tiny, but the hope each offers is huge.
I really didn't think I was going to survive this long. My name's Petra. I'm one of the entrepreneurs here.
Once homeless and feeling hopeless, Petra Haynes now has both and a business.
These are the pillows I have.
She lives here and sells her crafts at a shop steps away where people who were once unhoused are now blossoming entrepreneurs. She just sold a sticker.
It's definitely really helped me.
So this is my art. The money, skills, and confidence they earn replaces self-doubt.
Being able to actually have this like a thing and it's really happening, it's mind-blowing.
Marcel Lebrun is the mastermind behind the community, the cafe next door where some work, and this program. He believes purpose is key to unlocking potential.
To see somebody go from unhoused to housed, obviously people think, well, that's great, they're safe and they're warm, but from going from to have a sense of purpose is the most transformative thing by far.
So when the carpenters are finished, I go hunting.
Susan Hayward creates art like these miniature tiny homes from scraps left over from home builds. Her days are more meaningful.
I want to be happy every day, and this is bringing me happiness.
These businesses really are being built on self-belief. They're investing in themselves because somebody else invested in them. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 51st birthday, Sharon, from Wes, Lauren, Lindsay, and Princess Leia. Happy 16th birthday, Dakota, from Papa, family, and friends. And a happy 24th birthday to Robin, love Kukum, Papa, and family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Checking in on the almanac, we're getting up to 18 degrees today. It's a bit above seasonal, nowhere near where we were at last year. 27 was our high, and it was just a few degrees off from that record set back in 1950. And while we won't be touching that as mentioned, we are above seasonal as evidenced by the almanac. We're currently doing pretty well in terms of our temperatures already starting to rise. 13 degrees, 1 or 2 clouds out here. Winds are out of the north-northwest. They were decently strong and they're likely to taper off a little bit into the afternoon. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 77%. So we're going to be seeing highs all across the province in the upper teens. Some birds are making noise. And above seasonal as mentioned through the province. Please stop. Oh, sorry. Distracting. Pay attention, Catherine. Yes, highs above seasonal in the upper teens. Decently warm, actually, in Dauphin. Could be breaking the 20-degree mark. Overnight tonight, winds will be ramping up again. Potentially the return of some fog here in southern Manitoba. It'll break up into tomorrow, setting the stage for a sunny day and a hotter day than we're seeing today. 22 degrees is what we're looking at in Winnipeg, not only Friday, but Saturday as well. And then by Sunday, we could be getting as hot as 25 degrees. And if you can believe it, I was just told Wednesday of next week is the start of October. We're likely still going to be in the mid-20s. In fact, on Tuesday, we're looking at a high of 27 degrees. And side note, all under the sunshine.
Human trafficking and sexual exploitation are big problems in our community and beyond. Women and young girls are often targeted, and the risk is greater because of the internet and social media. The Empower Men Project is a local organization that hopes to raise awareness among men and boys about the issue, how to recognize it, and even help tackle the problem. Joining us now is the project manager at Empower Men, Hennes Dulce. Good morning, Hennes.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is a 3.5-year project supported by Mama Way. Tell us a little bit about what began it all and what you do every day.
Sure. So Mama Way has a long history of working in the field of anti-exploitation and addressing trafficking, particularly trafficking of Indigenous women and girls. And so it has always been a strong focus of the work. And then about 3.5 years ago, we wanted to start something that would engage men and boys in this topic as well. Unfortunately, men and boys make up most of the perpetration of the trafficking. So we feel like men can play a bigger role in providing solutions. So we do a number of different workshops in schools, we do some research, we do community trainings, and it's really about advancing the conversation around these kinds of topics, particularly amongst men and boys.
How big of a problem is it in this community and beyond?
I think it's a problem in any community, not just a large city problem, right? Sometimes people think, oh, it's it's a big city problem, Toronto or Winnipeg, but I think it happens in smaller communities as well. There was a case last year in Portage la Prairie, for example. So I think it impacts a lot of communities, and particularly with the rise of social media and the internet. It has become easier for predators to use those tools, and so if somebody has a phone and internet, which a lot of kids now do, I think the risk just increases regardless of where you're at.
Okay, so by giving men and young men and boys the tools to recognize this, how is that going to tackle it? Because you say that more commonly they are the perpetrator.
Correct. So we have historically focused, rightfully so, on how do we protect vulnerable people, how do we help people move forward when they've been in that trafficking situation, and we want to tackle this and say men and boys can do better. We can be part of the solution, and I think we should be. And it has to do a lot with how we sometimes are raised as men and boys, right? Like what kind of messages we get around relationships and those kinds of things. So we feel strongly about that, emphasizing that, because we feel most people don't want to actively harm somebody, right? But they may not know all of the circumstances that somebody is in, right?
Okay.
So that's the focus that we have.
So there's a film that you're airing at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, and it's all about giving information on some of the survivors and sharing that with men, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we host an event on October 1st at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, and we will show a documentary called Butterfly, Into the Maze of Human Trafficking, which is a Canadian-produced film, and it follows 3 survivors in Manitoba, Alberta, and BC. And it's really a compelling story around survivor leadership, but also hearing survivor stories. There's also some advocates in the movie. Police officers are interviewed, and I think it captures really in a very compelling way how this issue affects communities, but also how resilient people can be. So we are going to show the documentary, and then we're going to have a panel discussion with the producer, with one of the survivors, and one of the advocates in the movie. Myself will be on the panel as well, and we want to have those conversations with the audience.
And you're encouraging young men and families to register young men.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really open for anybody. Again, the focus is on men and boys, but I think anybody can learn from this movie, and it's very easy, accessible. There's no cost to the movie. Starts at 6 o'clock on October 1st, so people can register through our website, and we're just excited to welcome people there for those important conversations.
Any last messages for people watching right now?
Come to the movie. I think it's going to be a powerful evening, and we're excited to see everybody there.
Thank you, Hennes.
Thank you.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hello there, Kara Wagland inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday, and it comes from the end of the Red Sox-Blue Jays game. Bottom 9, Jays down 7-1 with 2 away. Alejandro Kirk hits one to right field. Willie Abreu comes up throwing. gets Kirky easily to end the game. Kirk, not known for being the fastest runner. That is a tough way to end things on a 9-3 putout. Toronto has scored 1 run or fewer in 6 of their last 7 games. Their division lead is gone. That is your must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, it is Thursday Night Football between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Seattle has won 7 straight meetings, 5 of those by double digits. Kickoff for that game goes at 8:15 Eastern at 7:15 Central Time. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
A New York man has put in some serious effort to rescue a rare orange lobster.
Borrowed some tank water from Palmer's down the road, and that bought me enough time to go to Petco, pick up a 20-gallon tank, and I got 20 gallons of seawater that they sell in the store in boxes. And I emptied it into the tank, cooled it down to the proper temperature, and I contacted an organization out of Long Island to rehabilitate it and bring it back to the ocean.
Kyle found this bright orange lobster while shopping and got to work on getting him back to the ocean. He connected with the local Humane Society and they got it ready to live in the ocean again. They've been making sure it's using its claws properly and that it's able to forage and swim properly. An orange lobster like this guy is rare. It's a 1 in 30 million find. Thursday, September 25th. Today, new details emerge in the Brandon school sword attack, why the accused faces more serious charges. Missing child. The search for a boy near the Alberta-BC border expands its boundaries and adds more personnel. And taking a dip in the pool or the river, as long as water is involved for these dogs, life is truly golden. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Hello, Manitoba. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. It's hard to believe, but kids have been at school for just over 3 weeks already. And I know my kids are already grumbling about some of their lunches. They're already bored.
Are you making them?
I'm not making them. They make them, but they need a lot of options, right? They need to be able to gather it themselves and then come together and put something that they'll enjoy. And that's the challenge after eating the same thing for 3 weeks already, and they still have a lot more time to go. So we're going to give you some reminders and tips on how to pack some nutritious lunch and how to get your kids involved with making their own lunches. So stay tuned for that at 8:15. But the weather, it doesn't feel like we're in the fall season at all right now.
Sure doesn't. Talking about nutritious lunches, when I was a kid, it was like Lunchables, so delicious. There was not a lot of nutrition to be found, so whatever they're up to is already better than I was dealing with. But yes, in terms of us talking about how the kids have been back for 3 weeks already, hard to believe because it's feeling more like, I don't know, summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, today will be a little cooler than what we've been seeing, but some hot temperatures on the way for the weekend. Right now, casting our eye to the sky, 13 degrees, 1 or 2 clouds out there, though we're decently clear here in downtown. Winds are out of the north-northwest. They're starting to ease a little bit at 22 kilometers per hour. The barometric pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 77%. Yeah, lots of sunshine on the way as evidenced by our radar, and that there's not a lot to show you. Sunshine, clear skies, above seasonal temperatures. I love to be the bearer of good news. There is a slight chance, very slight, of some showers, about a 30% shot in areas to the very far northeast. But as you can see, that system does start to push away. The tail end could bring a little bit of moisture. Likely, though, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud, while we're much clearer here in southern Manitoba. While we are going to be celebrating in sunshine and above seasonal temperatures, there is a fairly large system to show you tracking in that could affect northern Manitoba in the coming days. So there it is, swooping in through Saskatchewan, bringing a good chance of some rainfall overnight in Thursday, maybe arriving by Friday to the northwest, and then spreading out nicely overnight into Saturday. While we here, again, not to celebrate too much, lots of sunshine for us and above seasonal values. Just how hot? Well, today I mentioned 18 degrees, around 15 or 16 is what's typical. And that's our coolest temperatures for a good week to come, I'd say. 22 on Friday under the sunshine. Same deal on Saturday. Sunday, even hotter. 25 is what we're looking at. Starting next work week, no slouch either. 24 under the sunshine with as hot as 27 by Tuesday and Wednesday. We start October. Wow. Weather art of the day. Emma drew this one complaining about the cold. Emma, did you just hear my forecast? You don't have to complain for a little while to come. But I hear you, Emma. I also don't like the cold. Thank you for drawing that. Thanks to her mom for sending it in. And if your kids have any weather-themed artwork, we would love to see them. We are showcasing one a day here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Be sure to email your entries to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
New details are emerging about a brutal sword attack at a Brandon high school. Charges against the teenager accused in the attack this past June have been upgraded, and if found guilty, the Crown wants the teen sentenced as an adult. The 16-year-old male was previously facing 1 count of attempted murder and 2 counts of assault with a weapon. However, the Crown has confirmed those assault charges have now been upgraded, leaving the accused facing 3 counts of attempted murder. This all comes after Brandon police arrested the teen on June 10th, accusing him of brutally attacking another 15-year-old student with a sword, leaving them with serious injuries. Police have since alleged the attack was racially motivated. The maximum youth sentence for attempted murder is up to 3 years in custody, while the maximum adult sentence is life in prison. The lawyer for the accused tells CTV News they are opposed to the adult sentencing. CTV News has also learned there were additional victims in this attack. Brandon Police Chief Tyler Bates tells CTV News following the initial attack on the 15-year-old boy, a suspect armed with a sword allegedly chased a staff member and another student at the school. Both were able to escape unharmed without physical injuries. And just to note, the names of any victims, witnesses, and accused under 18 are all protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. None of the charges or allegations have been tested in court. Teams are expanding the search area for a 5-year-old Alberta boy who has been missing since Sunday.
The search for Darius is still continuing in full force, with every responding unit working together in their fullest capacity.
Roughly 100 people are now taking part in the search for Darius McDougall, who went missing near the Island Lake Campground in southern Alberta. Helicopters are taking part in the effort, and search and rescue teams have now expanded their radius to 6.6 kilometers. McDougall went missing after a walk with 6 young family members over the weekend. The RCMP says it is still optimistic he will be found alive. A warning for those of you living in the province's north. RCMP are warning about an uptick in grandparents' scams in the area. Typically, Mounties say the person receives a call from someone claiming to be either a relative or a lawyer asking for large sums of money for bail. The person is instructed to send the money via mail to an address outside the province. RCMP say at least 4 elderly people in Flin Flon have been targeted in this way recently, 2 of whom lost thousands of dollars. Police say if you receive a call like this, you could hang up and call your family member or local police directly to find out if it's legitimate. When a dog gets into a car, it really is an act of trust.
They're just happy and like, what are we doing today?
Vancouver Island had its annual Golden Retriever Roundup this week, and the dogs' trust paid off big time with a trip to the pool. Dogs usually head to the Nanaimo River for the Roundup, but organizers decided to switch it up this year. As for whether the dogs prefer the river or the pool, apparently they're not too picky as long as there's water. Look at them go right in there. And here's a look now at what's going on in traffic along St. Mary's Road. Things have really picked up over here, as you can see, slow moving in some parts. If you see any problems out on the street, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
We're talking about the HSC Millionaire Lottery this morning, and let's go back now to Daniel Homerson, who's in a gorgeous home in Oak Bluff. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Good morning, Manitoba. I'm honored right now to be sitting next to Leanne Taylor. She's a Paralympian, and the last time we spoke was the day after you won that bronze medal in Paris. Take me back to that.
It was such a special experience, the opportunity to even race in Paris. We biked on the Champs-Elysees, we swam in the Seine River, and then to come home with the first medal in triathlon for Canada as a wheelchair user was a super special experience to kind of reshape what people think triathletes look like.
Took tragedy and turned it into an inspirational story. Share your story with us.
Sure. In 2018, I was in a cycling accident and was paralyzed from the waist down and treated at HSC. And in that experience, I obviously was terrified and had to deal with the reality that I wasn't going to walk again. And I think one of the hardest things in going through that is wanting to know that you've done everything possible to rehab, to recover, to give yourself the best chance of walking again. And then for me to be able to put that aside and say, you know what, I've done everything and now I can move on with my life as a wheelchair user in the best way that I can. And so I was injured 7 years ago now. And since that injury, I went back to work as a compliance officer. I became a Paralympic medalist and most recently a mom. And all of these things that I thought maybe I wouldn't be able to achieve after becoming disabled, and having that support and that confidence that we had done everything we could to put me in the best position to move forward really helped me to be here today.
Wonderful. And for you now to help out the HSC Foundation, what does that mean to you?
It's really important to me. I think having the opportunity to connect with the staff at HSC and any time that I'm back there or get the opportunity to thank them is incredible. And I was supported by not only amazing physicians, but nurses and healthcare aides and a physiotherapist who I'll never forget. And so getting the opportunity to help them to have more resources so they can continue to offer that to other people is really important to me.
Wonderful. And of course, the donations, the proceeds raised by the 2025 HSC Million Lottery go to help these kind of programs. And of course, you can get your tickets online at hscmillionaire.com and Red River Co-op locations around the province. Coming up at 8:38, we're going to speak a little more with Leanne about this incredible story, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Daniel. Half of Canadian girls stopped participating in sport by the age of 17, but now a new campaign aims to turn that number around. CTV's Emma Convey looked into why so many young women step away from sports and what's being done to keep them in the game.
Throughout her childhood, Ayushi Korean was quite active in sports. When she started university, the pressures of school and a part-time job forced her to take a step back.
I used to do like marathons and stuff like that, and like I was like in the basketball team, so we used to go for like inter-school competitions and stuff.
She's not alone. Figure skating coach Stephanie Steele says the teen years are when she sees skaters slow down.
There's just so much pressure on them from all aspects of life, school, etc. So I think just really trying to make sure that they know that we're always here for them, whether or not that means they're skating 5 days a week or cutting it down to accommodate their schedule.
According to Canadian Women in Sport, by age 17, half of girls aren't even playing sports anymore. A reason the national campaign Get Girl Coached was launched.
Girls are being asked to adapt to a sports system that wasn't really designed to serve them. And so they bump up against coaches that don't fully understand them. They run into lack of resources or inequitable resources.
And they're missing out on the benefits.
We want to really rally sport leaders all across Canada to get girl coached, which means really listening to the girls, understanding their experience and their wants and needs, and then taking action.
I like about hockey that I get to stay active and stay in shape, and I like that I meet a lot of new friends.
Alyssa Ivany started playing hockey at 4 and has no plans to stop.
I want to at least make it to college so I can get a scholarship to hopefully a really good university so I can be a doctor.
As for Ayushi, she plans to return to the track after she graduates university. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Yeah, if you've got some outdoor sports with the kids today into the weekend, you're going to be treated to some gorgeous conditions. 13 degrees, maybe a few clouds starting to roll in now. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 21 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 75%. So two different kind of forecasts to tell you about. Today, though, we're going to be uniform. Lots of sunshine on the way, maybe a bit more in the way of cloud coverage to the northeast. Temperatures peaking in the upper teens throughout, maybe a hair warmer around Swan River. Strong winds out of the south this morning. They'll start to taper off into the afternoon and then ramping up again overnight, where we're likely to get some fog here in southern Manitoba. Not as dense as we saw just the other day, but fog nonetheless. Temperatures here in Winnipeg today will be 18. Overnight, dipping down to 6. And then tomorrow, this is where our paths kind of diverge. In the south, sunshine for tomorrow, temperatures rising even higher to the low 20s. And to the north, a low pressure system pushing in could be spreading some widespread rain throughout the northwest tomorrow afternoon and overnight, and then spreading out into the northeast from there, while we stay dry here in Winnipeg and all of southern Manitoba. In fact, we're looking at a sunny weekend ahead with above seasonal values above the 20-degree mark all throughout. 22 expected on Saturday, 25 on Sunday, if you can believe it. And we also have some warmer temperatures into the start of next work week as well. So while we will start October, certainly won't be feeling like it.
It's been more than 3 weeks since kids have returned to the classroom, and if they're already bored with their sandwiches, carrot sticks, and cookies, there are ways you can bring excitement back to their lunch boxes. Joining us now with tips on how to pack a nutritious and delicious lunch is WRHA Public Health Dietitian Avery Penner. Good morning, Avery.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's so easy to get bored, isn't it?
It can be, yes. Especially for kids, it's really important to have variety for their lunch boxes.
But you have to be careful with variety because you want it to be nutritious and healthy, of course.
Yes.
But it also has to stay okay in their backpack.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we want to make sure that the food is safe in their lunch kits. So
Yes.
keeping hot foods hot and cold foods cold.
Right.
So making sure that you have an insulated lunch kit, first of all, is really important.
Okay.
And then if we're packing cold foods, we're going to use an ice pack to keep them cold in the lunches. You can use also a frozen water bottle. We just want something that's going to keep it cold
Frozen
all
water
day.
bottle. That's a great idea.
If you don't have an ice pack, that's a
Right.
good one in a pinch.
So with the ice packs, they last pretty much all day, don't they?
Yeah, and I mean, they only have to last until lunchtime,
yeah.
so it should be okay for that amount of time. And then if you're trying to keep foods hot, you can use a thermos. You just want to preheat it with some boiling water, let it sit for a couple minutes, pour it out, and then put the hot food in.
And why is that?
That's just to make sure that the thermos is ready to keep that hot. It's like preheating an oven.
Okay, so if you don't do that, it will eventually cool off before
it could cool off a little sooner.
Okay,
yes.
so that's a good tip.
Yeah.
All right, you have examples of things that will be good additions to the lunch to keep things interesting a little bit.
Yeah, so I have some fruits and vegetables here. So we have plums, pears, berries, bananas, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower.
Yeah.
All these things can be packed in a lunch. You can also ask kids what their favorite fruits and vegetables are.
Okay.
So you can get them involved, which will actually make them more likely to eat the food that you pack as well. If
So
kids
you
are more
want them
involved.
to sort of help you make their lunches the night before, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that can really help. And especially we want to do it the night before, because the morning of we're in a rush. We're never going to get that done.
So you want them to get involved. You want them to maybe even cut their fruit or vegetables or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they can tell you what they're craving, right? They could tell you what they do not want in their lunches.
Yeah, you can have them involved in making the grocery list, planning what the lunches are going to be for the week. And so they're involved right from the very start, and they feel like they have some agency in what's going into their lunches.
That helps.
And they're more likely to eat it later on.
Leftovers are also a good option.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you can use those leftovers, or even something like the soups and the spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, we have some leftovers here. You can always pack leftovers. You would just want to put them in the fridge after you cook them, and then the morning of, this is the one thing you do the morning of, is reheat it, maybe in the microwave or something, and then do that
Warm
thermos.
up your thermos,
Yes, and then put it in the thermos for the day.
Any other tips for parents and kids maybe trying to keep their lunches interesting?
Yeah, think about what whole grain foods you like, what fruits and vegetables you like, what protein foods you like, and then try to combine them in different and fun ways.
And water is also key.
Water is also key, yes. We really recommend water be your drink of choice, because juice and pop, other sugary drinks, can fill kids up between meals, so they're less likely to eat the meal when they get done.
Okay, any things you want people to avoid in their lunches?
To avoid in their lunches, I mean, juice and pop, definitely. We want to avoid bringing those. If your school has advised against certain allergens, we also want to avoid those.
Okay, and so these are all great examples of things you can prepare the day before or the morning of, like all of these fruits and vegetables and bagel and bread. It's great options for you. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And of course, if you do want more information, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Well, your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off some bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is 1000. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word 1000 with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck.
Casting our eye to the sky, it's looking gorgeous out there. 13 degrees. Winds are still decently strong out of the north-northwest at 21 kilometers per hour. Pressure's rising, humidity at 75%. It's going to be decently blustery throughout the day. My mic, apologies. There we go. That'll be less annoying. It's going to be decently blustery and decently warm as well. Not quite as hot as we've been seeing the last couple of days, but we are in store for those much warmer temperatures into the weekend. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Currently 8 degrees though in Brandon, 4 in Roblin, 6 in Dauphin. Moving out of the way here in Kenora, 16 degrees, 14 in Pinawa. To the north, temperatures very similar, in some areas warmer. 10 degrees in Island Lake, 10 in Gillam, 9 in Churchill. Okay, so lots of sunshine on the way through the province. Maybe a smattering of clouds here or there, but for the most part clear and above seasonal. As the kids head out and arrive at school, you're looking at about 14 degrees with lots of sunshine. Not a lot changing with those sky conditions, as you can see. 16 around the lunch hour and 18 on the way home. Coincidentally, that is also our high for the day. The breezy winds will take a bit of a reprieve into the afternoon, but they ramp up again overnight as temperatures dip to 6 degrees. And tomorrow, 22, we kick it off with maybe some fog. Those patches will develop overnight, but break up into the morning hours. A high of 22 with lots of sunshine on the way. Not a lot of deviation in that mercury overnight. The low of 18. Saturday we're back up to 22 and we're getting even hotter by Sunday. A high of 24. Next week looks pretty staggering. So while we are going to be dealing with these hot temperatures, I should mention to the north, likely some rain for you tracking in around Thursday into Friday. We on the other end will deal with the sunshine well into next work week. 25 degrees on Monday. 27 with a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday. Of course, it's still a ways away out, so this could change, but it's looking like this warm air mass will be producing highs of 24 degrees on Wednesday and keep those above seasonal temperatures coming for a number of days to come. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Eve in L'Atelier was able to capture that fog with those wind turbines just barely sticking out from below it or above it. Thank you for this amazing photo, and if you have any weather photos to share, we'd love to see them. Email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
A music festival and conference is back in Winnipeg after taking a more than 10-year hiatus. The 23rd annual Breakout West is a 4-day music conference that includes discussion panels, an awards night, and 3 nights of live music with more than 55 artists performing all over the city. Joining us now to tell us more about Breakout West is Michael Dawson. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, before we move on to what the festival is all about, let's talk about the 10-year hiatus. Why has it been so long?
Yeah, absolutely. So Breakout West moves to a different city in Western Canada annually. It was scheduled to be here a few years back, and of course COVID moved everything online, and then there was a push to do it the next year, and again there's a second
another wave.
That's exactly right. And so yeah, so we're so excited to finally be back in person and bring it to life here in the city.
And tell us about the whole event, because you have 55 different artists, musicians that are coming for this. 2 from Wales, the majority of them are from Canada though. Tell us a little bit about the festival itself and what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, you know, sort of the governing body is the Western Canadian Music Alliance. And so a lot of the focus on artists from the West and the North, but we do have artists performing from each of the 4 Atlantic provinces as well as Montreal, and then 2 artists from Wales. And so 55 artists, everyone plays twice. The idea of the festival piece is really just about music discovery. And so artists play on the hour and the half hour staggered between venues, and so when one band ends, you can run across the street and see another.
Oh my gosh.
And it's, yeah, so it's a single wristband. You buy 1 wristband, $30 gets you into all of those shows, and it really just kind of keeps neighborhoods vibrant. It keeps people out and discovering all sorts of new music, and everyone goes home with a favorite band at the end of the weekend.
And there's nothing like live music either, right? It's just really, it's a great way to explore some musicians you've never heard of before.
That's exactly it. I mean, that's what we do. At the heart of everything we do, I think, is live music. And so during the day, there's a conference piece running for musicians and for music industry. And we bring in, you know, music industry delegates. So there's people who book festivals and run record labels and booking agents and stuff from around the world. We have delegates from Colombia, Mexico, Sweden, Germany, the UK, Netherlands, etc., as well as from across Canada. And so it's like quite a cohort all day with artists participating in all these panels discussions, and then the evening very open to the public, a very fun, vibrant music showcase festival. So.
Who are some of these musicians we're talking about here?
I mean, they're from all over Western Canada. I mean, there's certainly some amazing Winnipeg talent as part of it. There's Slow Leaves, there's Fontaine, and Bottomfist performs tonight. Amazing hip-hop artist named Camordo performs tonight. Some Frekvo performers, Pontex as well, performs tonight. And so it's really, it's really sort of a genre bending adventure, if you will. There's sort of everything from hip-hop to some electronic stuff to roots and folk, some country leanings, lots of rock and roll, indie rock stuff. So
if you're looking for any kind of live music, this is your weekend to do so, and there's 14 venues that are involved as well.
That's correct, yes. There's 14 venues. Tonight we're at both the Park Theatre and the side stage, as well as Times Change and Blue Note Park.
Okay.
With those stages at both locations alternating back and forth, and then tomorrow night we sort of add another 10 venues to the mix.
That's cool.
Mostly set around downtown in the Exchange District.
So you can just hop from one to another. Okay, so if people are interested in checking this out, where do they find tickets?
Yeah, I mean, breakoutwest.ca. There's a ticket link right at the top. There's the full schedule posted there. You can go through and explore each of the artists.
Nice.
Take a spin through the playlist, and yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing this with us. And again, this is so great for our city to have these musicians here. And so if you want more information or you want to check out some live music this weekend, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Gusty and decently warm, 13 degrees with a couple of sprinklings of clouds, not so evident here. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 21 clicks. Pressure's rising, humidity at 75%. It's going to be quite gusty for the rest of the morning. Should taper off slightly into the afternoon. Meantime, lots of sunshine to look forward to. Our radar showing not a lot, meaning little cloud coverage, except potentially in the northeast. Meantime, there is a slight chance of some rainfall, very slight in this section, only about a 30% shot. Likely it'll be just a mix of sun and cloud. Breezy in Churchill with a high of 11, 17 in Thompson and Island Lake, 14 in Gillam. Warmer temperatures to the northwest, mix of sun and cloud for you, above seasonal. 19 degrees in the Paw, 17 in Flin Flon, 16 in Lynn Lake. Balmy in Norway House with a high of 19. Southwestern Manitoba also very warm, clearer skies expected for you, and very strong winds. They're likely to shift into the south out to 30 to 50 kilometers per hour expected. Again, they'll likely lessen into the afternoon. Highs of 19 in Brandon and Neepawa and Dauphin. Swan River to crack likely the 20-degree mark. For our neck of the woods, clear skies with the exception of a little bit of cloud coverage, if you will, in Steinbach and Portage Prairie. Likely, though, very warm, very sunny. 18 degrees basically across the board there. 16 in Barons River, 19 in Sprague. Northwestern Ontario, mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures also in the upper teens, low 20s for Fort Frances. If you can believe it, we have some even hotter temperatures on the way. Tomorrow, we're looking at 22 degrees in Winnipeg with lots of sunshine. Same thing on Saturday, and then Sunday getting even hotter with 24, and then look at these highs. 25 likely on Monday, 27 on Tuesday. Wednesday, we start off October under a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 24.
Thank you, Catherine. A frequently heard complaint about the recent major revamp of Winnipeg's transit system is the loss of late-night service on many routes. The city says that may be about to change. In a release this morning, Mayor Scott Gillingham is pledging to expand late-night transit service as part of the upcoming 2026 budget process. The move comes in response to concerns that the new primary transit network left many shift workers and late-night commuters seeking alternate transportation. Following discussions on options to extend the service and in response, Transit is preparing a formal plan for consideration by Council in November. A new documentary is drawing attention to the problem of students not going to school. A trailer for the feature says the absentee rate at one school in Winnipeg was as high as 71%. The organization that produced the documentary says the issue is not getting the attention it needs.
The issue is always getting pushed out of the way, and it's sort of an open secret. Teachers know that it's bad.
The documentary, Absent, was produced by the faith-based organization Inner City Youth Alive. Executive Director Kent Duick says some schools in Winnipeg's North End are experiencing high rates of absenteeism. He's calling on school divisions and the province to do more outreach to get students back in class and put more programs in place to keep them in class once they do come back.
What we've done is really extended the day for as many students as we can. We're feeding as many students as we can, breakfast, lunch, snack. We see the power of programs like football.
Winnipeg School Division Superintendent Matt Henderson says about 6% of students in the division are struggling with attendance. He says staff members will even make house calls in cases where students are missing school for long periods of time. The province is in the early stages of twinning a stretch of highway north of Winnipeg. A spokesperson for Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure says the department is currently in the design stage for twinning 14 kilometers of Highway 59. The stretch of highway runs from Highway 12 to about 4 kilometers south of South Beach Casino. The design phase is expected to take somewhere between 1 and 2 years, with construction to follow. The province says it's too early to say when it might be completed. Burial practices are personal and varied, and now at a city-run cemetery in Winnipeg, there's a new option to consider when making final arrangements for yourself or loved ones. CTV's Daniel Homerson explains.
There are more than 110,000 burials at Brookside Cemetery, and now the city of Winnipeg is offering people a new way to be laid to rest here in this half-acre of native grass and wildflowers nestled along Omens Creek.
It's really enclosed by beautiful 100-year-old mature trees, so it's really a very peaceful and tranquil space.
It's called a natural burial, and Brookside is the first cemetery in Manitoba certified by the Green Burial Society of Canada.
With green burial, people are buried, a little bit closer to the surface where the ground is more biologically active. And then their body in the ground can actually be a gift, something that benefits the earth, rather than something that is a strain on it.
The city's cemeteries administrator says there's been a growing demand for options to minimize environmental footprints after death.
Just really looking to have more of a minimal impact on the environment and returning their body back to the earth in a fairly natural state, or as natural as possible.
Brett Schenbach says natural burial follows a few basic fundamentals.
Embalming is not permitted on the site, so bodies are interred within the area, not embalmed. Additionally, bodies are interred in a shroud or biodegradable casket.
Flat markers and upright monuments are also not permitted on this site. Instead, people can honor loved ones on this communal memorial. Schenbach says there's enough space for 130 full-body interments here, with room to expand in the future.
So we're really looking to just sort of learn from this experience and see what kind of response we get from the community.
Daniel Homerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Here's a look now at what's happening on the St. James Bridge. Looks like things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.36. The provincial average is lower at $1.29. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.28, and the lowest price in the city is $1.22. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
I love talking about music, and so for our question of the day, we wanted to know, what's your favorite one-hit wonder? Susan says Winnipeg R&B singer Rami Shan's Rock Steady. Thank you for that. Sheldon's is Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. That was a good one-hit wonder. Marlene says her favorite one-hit wonder is Spirit in the Sky. Kim's is The Cutting Cruise, I Just Died in Your Arms. Oh my goodness, that takes me back. Lindsay says for me it's Black Velvet by Alana Miles. Blair Can't Choose and submitted 3. Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. Driver's Seat by Sniffin' the Tears. And Dodgy's Good Enough. Jackie says her favorite #1 hit wonder is Take On Me by Aha. Connie says it's Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. And Pat says theirs is I Ran by Flock of Seagulls. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Daniel Homerson, who's live in a gorgeous home in Oak Bluff. It's all about HSC Millionaire Lottery. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Rochelle. We've been hearing all morning about the lottery, and the role HSE plays in Manitobans' lives. And I'm joined once again by Paralympian Leanne Taylor. Now, we talked about you as an athlete, Leanne, but HSC has also helped you become a mother. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, the first time I was treated at HSC was following my bike accident when I sustained a spinal cord injury. And then I returned there under much better circumstances just 2 months ago to give birth to my son, Oliver. And definitely as a person who had been paralyzed, I was much more nervous to have an epidural and to go through some of the processes of birth. And HSC staff were so incredibly supportive to me that giving birth to Oliver by C-section, I thought would be not such a magical experience that you expect with childbirth, but it was very different than I expected. It was made so beautiful and so exciting, and then having the opportunity to hold him on my chest right after he was born and have the staff celebrate him like he was the most special baby in the world, even though I'm sure they do this very often, and although I think he's very special, I'm sure he's pretty standard to them. And having that experience of just having so much love and support from the staff at HSC really made my birth that much more special.
I saw photos of Oliver. He is absolutely cute. Just learned to smile, so we were checking that out. What's your message to Manitobans when it comes to HSC? They say HSC is Manitoba's hospital. What does that mean to you?
I think there's so much more that goes into medical care than just meeting the bare minimum, and that's what's special about HSC is that the people and the staff have just shown me so much caring and compassion, and supporting those individuals so that they can continue to provide that level of care is so important to me and is so important to Manitobans who maybe don't think about the hospital very often, and I hope that they don't end up there. But when you do, knowing that you have that high level of care and support and consideration from all the staff is so important.
Thank you so much for being here, Leanne, and sharing your story. And of course, the 2025 HSC Millionaire Lottery, the fall bonus deadline is midnight tonight. Now, if you get those tickets, you're in for all the draws, including this beautiful house out here in Oak Bluff. Visit hscmillionaire.com to grab those tickets today.
I feel like a millionaire because I'm just loving what Mother Nature is serving up. We are just in the riches in terms of these conditions. 13 degrees, 1 or 2 clouds out there. The winds, though, have been decently strong throughout the morning, out of the north-northwest at 21 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 75%. So lots of sunshine on the way through the province. Highs into the upper teens. For us in Winnipeg, that's 18 degrees. About 16 is what's seasonal. These strong winds should lose a little bit of their heft into the afternoon before picking up again overnight. Much of the province will be dipping down to kind of like the mid-single digit point, about 6 degrees for us here in Winnipeg. Winds ramping up again, this time out of the north. And then some fog developing as well, potentially lasting into tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with lots of sunshine here in the south, hotter temperatures, 22 in Winnipeg. Meanwhile, another system, a low pressure system tracking in from Saskatchewan, could be spreading rain throughout northern Manitoba into tomorrow night and then maybe into Saturday as well, while we here in the south will stay dry with hot temperatures and plenty of sunshine. Alrighty, we're going to take a break here on Your Morning Winnipeg, but stay with us. We've got so much more still to come on this fabulous Thursday.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. The CFL isn't the only league making changes. There's also a major change coming to Major League Baseball next season. A new pitch to change the way the game is called. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has the reaction to the new high-tech challenge system.
But it's a strike, and again, not reviewable. Oh, boy. And then that call goes against them.
In baseball, it's an argument as old as the game itself.
Uh-oh. He should not have picked up the dirt.
Strikes called balls.
Wow, Ollie's got to hold him back.
Balls called strikes.
That ball a good 3 inches off the outside corner.
Sometimes leading to close quarter disagreements.
They are yelling at each other like this close, like face to face. The really immature managers are kicking dirt on the ump.
And Billy is not going to go quietly.
They've been sort of like Supreme Court justices. There has been no higher court.
That will change as of next season. Major League Baseball confirming that each team will get at least 2 chances to challenge a ball or a strike in the event of human error, using an automated ball strike system known as ABS.
This is a very good day for baseball fans, because the last thing you want is games ended because of a bad call.
ABS technology is also being used in tennis and football. The league says it will take no more than 15 seconds for a challenged pitch to be decided. The commissioner of Major League Baseball saying the move will preserve the integral role of the umpire in the game with the ability to correct a missed call in a high-leverage situation. Some MLB players voted against the new rule, but a committee made up of owners and big leaguers pushed the progressive plan across home plate following years of discussion.
Baseball's been going on since before the First World War, and now they're finally doing this.
The new rule is expected to keep things more amicable here on the field. This year, 60% of all ejections of players and coaches in the majors stemmed from arguments over balls and strikes. Adrian Gover, CTV News, Toronto.
Manitoba RCMP say they have seen an increase in grandparent scams in northern Manitoba, an area that previously had few reports of such incidents. Mounties say 4 elderly Flin Flon residents have reported receiving calls over the last few months from a scammer claiming to be either a relative or a lawyer. Joining us now with details on this grandparent scheme is RCMP Constable Ricky Perkins. Good morning, Constable.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell us about what happened in this case in Flin Flon.
So, yeah, up in Flin Flon, the cases were just what stood out to us was that community hadn't been one that had really seen a lot of these types of frauds in the past, especially in the northern part of the province. We haven't seen a lot of them there. So that's kind of what piqued interest in those cases specifically. Mm-hmm. Usually we see them in more of the southern rural communities or the larger cities.
Okay, and so what did they say in this case on the phone?
The specifics of those, I'm not really able to share. However, the scam is usually in a similar message where it's a loved one, like a grandchild or another family member or a friend calling, or maybe even a lawyer or a police officer representing that loved one. Claiming that they're in trouble. Maybe they've gone into an accident, they need money for medical expenses or travel home, or even for bail to get out of jail.
And so they tell them, we're in trouble, we need some money, wire some money, mail some money. What are they asking for?
Yeah, both. And we see a lot of these scams, them wanting to send cash because it's very difficult to trace cash. Especially if it leaves, the Canadian borders. But also recently, we've seen a lot of cases where crypto has been involved, cryptocurrency, because again, of how easy it is to send. And again, the whole platform of crypto is to be anonymous. So again, it makes it difficult to trace where the money ends up.
Okay, so what do you want people to know about this scam, and what are signs that it's not real?
Well, I think, a lot of times, police officers and lawyers aren't going to be calling you for money over the phone. So I think that's a big red flag. Another one is, I know in a lot of family cases, maybe people don't stay in touch as much, but, if you are closer with your family and you didn't expect them to be traveling anywhere, that's a red flag. If you get a phone call all of a sudden that, your grandson's in a foreign country and is in jail when, you knew that he's in school here, or you had spoken to him a couple of days earlier and his plans weren't to go to, Italy or something like that.
Right. Now, is also the messaging, if you get a call from someone, maybe hang up and try calling them back?
Yeah, I suggest to victims, or when we go and do some education to different folks, is ask the caller for a callback number, and then try to call the family member that they're calling you about.
Okay.
Right, and if you can't get a hold of it, if it's your grandson, call your son or daughter and make sure that they're okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think that would right there eliminate 99.9% of these scams if we did that.
Good tip. Okay, well, thank you, Constable, for your time today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
We're in store for a sunny and warm day today. Not quite as hot as yesterday, but we are due for even hotter temperatures in the days to come. Not a lot to show you on the satellite image because it is so clear. For us here in Winnipeg, we're looking at a high of 18 degrees. 16 is what's typical. Winds, meantime, very strong, particularly in these morning hours. I'm not used to these new graphics. Out of the south at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Overnight, some fog patches could be developing. Temperatures dipping down to 6. Winds shifting and ramping up out of the north at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, I mentioned some hotter temperatures. 22 degrees with those very strong southerly winds again. And we are in for some gorgeous conditions on the way for the weekend. Saturday, much the same, 22 degrees under those clear sunny skies. Temperatures dipping down to 9 overnight. Sunday, look at that, 24 degrees. Kick off next work week under hotter conditions with a high of 25 and just going up from there. We're going to take a break here, but stay with us. We've got so much more Your Morning still to come on this Thursday.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we're going to wrap this up, but before we do, we're going to send you off with some fun video. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's all about perspective, and this kid proves just that.
I win the medal.
I lost. Little Levi was just as excited for losing as his big brother was for winning. And it was quite a medal as well.
I mean,
Look
that's
at
my
that.
attitude in sports because it's generally the outcome is a loss. So glass half full kind of gal.
I lost. Well, now to a little one who has a lot to say.
Tell me.
Little rolls on her arms. This baby is a chatty Cathy. She may not yet know how to speak, but she sure understands and squeals when her dad responds to her babbling.
The Michelin Man babies are my favorite.
I know. Look at those arms. Look at those baby feet, too. I just love baby feet.
Before they get smushed and they're all like fat and so
She's a
delicious.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Well, having puppies in yoga class is a real treat, but they can be a distraction. So taking a couple of breaths here. Everyone has eyes on this little guy as he discovers a mirror and his twin for the first time. Watch as he jumps and tries to attack his reflection. It's a new active pose called the puppy pounce.
Yeah, no downward dog for him. He's not doing much down.
Oh, that's so cute.
I mean, that makes me more zen, so I understand why puppies in yoga is helpful.
Babies and puppies,
Yeah,
that's
keep it
all we
coming.
need. All right, have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.